This page is the front cover of Dreamcast Magazine Volume 4 from 2001. It promotes a perfect catalog of DC strategy guidebooks. The cover features artwork and text related to several games. The main headline highlights Macross M3, emphasizing legendary mecha soaring in the sky. Another major section promotes Virtua Fighter 4, announcing its exhibition at the Amusement Machine Operators Union (AMOU) Expo, and proclaiming VFX is Virtua Fighter 4. It mentions Valentine Massacre Service for magazine readers. The cover lists several featured titles, including Comic Party, Shenmue 2, 100 Swords, Fire Pro Wrestling D, Arrow Dancing Eye, Inoue Ryoko Roommate, and Happy Lesson. Other games mentioned in smaller text boxes are Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs Xeon DX, Project Justice, Street Fighter 03, and Bubble 2. At the bottom right, there's a section mentioning all DC title reader ranking and next generation mobile phone and game information. The price is listed as 450 yen, and the date, 2/16, is also shown. The bottom right corner also has the GameSpot Japan website address. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game 100 Swords. The advert highlights the game's network capabilities, describing it as a large-scale communication battle where up to 100 players can participate. It promotes real-time simulation and visual memory compatibility. The ad mentions a special 2.15 on sale offer at a price of 5,800 yen and a at Barai version 2.8 on sale for 980 yen. It also notes that key unlocking is needed from 2/15 and requires a separate 2,980 yen payment. The bottom of the page has small screenshots showing in-game scenes and text promoting online battles, chat features, and rankings as key components of this network strategy game. The text says, Battle, Chat, Ranking, Network SLG Decision Edition. This page is a Dreamcast advert showcasing several games available for the system. Phantasy Star Online is highlighted as a network RPG, emphasizing its online multiplayer capabilities for up to 4 players and featuring screenshots of in-game action. It's priced at 6,800 yen. Next up is Metropolis Street Racer, or MSR, a racing title featuring global city locations and mission-based gameplay, with network time attack functionality. It's advertised as on sale 2.22 for 5,800 yen. Sega Tetris is also featured, promoting its internet play for up to 4 players, character customization, and in-game chat features with fun UFO character avatars. It's the Dreamcast version of Tetris, and on sale for 2,800 yen. Sakatsuku Tokudai Gao, which translates to Let's Make a Pro Soccer Club Special Edition, a J-League soccer club management simulation game, emphasizing updated data and visuals and positioning itself as the ultimate soccer game for the end of the 20th century. It's priced at 5,800 yen. Finally, there's Power Smash, known internationally as Virtua Tennis, presented as a realistic tennis simulation with super player techniques and deep gameplay, featuring network play for up to 4 players in real-time matches. It's available for 5,800 yen. This page is the contents page for the magazine. It highlights sections such as a Dreamcast strategy guide catalog, a Valentine's event for readers, news about the Dreamcast production halt and Virtua Fighter 4, and a feature called DC Licensee vs. Dorimaga. Other sections include a Segalum.com online auction, the Dorimaga Explorer team, and a NAOMI arcade games section covering Mobile Suit Gundam Federation vs. Xeon, Pro Gear no Arashi, and Street Fighter 03 Upper. Upcoming Dreamcast games are previewed, including Macross M3, 100 Swords, Comic Party, Shenmue 2, and Fire Pro Wrestling D. This magazine page provides a game index for Dreamcast titles, categorized alphabetically in Japanese order. The index covers games starting with A, e.g., Atsumare Guru Guru Onsen, Ka, e.g., Gigawing 2, Sa, e.g., Shenmue 2, Na, e.g. Phantasy Star Online, Ma, e.g. Macross M3, and Naomi, e.g. Kidou Senshi Gundam. Beyond the game listings, the page highlights recurring magazine sections. These sections include weekly news, schedules, reader content, game previews, and articles covering game development. Additional features include comics, radio, international news, columns, interviews, and reader contests. This page details weekly Dreamcast news, with highlights including the production announcement of the psycho-suspense adventure game S, the presentation for the interactive TV terminal Plus E, and Phantasy Star Online reaching 90,000 network users. Other news includes Sakura Wars becoming a card game, Konami entering online music distribution, pre-orders for the communication robot BN1, and Animate launching mail order via DreamNet. The main article focuses on the Dreamcast game S, a psycho-suspense adventure starring Hiroshi Mikami and Yuko Naito. It's set to release on April 5th as a 3-disc set for 6,800 yen. The game's plot revolves around investigating serial killings by diving into the subconscious of victims. A TV drama adaptation is also planned for April on TV Asahi. Director Takashi Takashima explains the game's focus on psychological realism, while producer Saito Yuichi of TV Asahi emphasizes its dramatic quality and high production values, calling it a game that surpasses typical game experiences. Further details clarify S as a psycho-suspense adventure, where players delve into the heart's darkness. The cast list includes Hiroshi Mikami and Yuko Naito, and the plot centers on Detective Kiyotaka Higuchi investigating serial killings in 2001, trying to rescue the 7th victim. JCM and Partners launched the Plus E on-demand interactive TV service starting January 25th, with content like games and shopping. Hitmaker is creating content for it, including the brain training game Touch de Uno 2 and the fortune-telling service Fortune-Telling Obake Guide Spirit. Phantasy Star Online gained over 90,000 members quickly and is popular abroad. Sakura Wars is becoming a trading card game with exclusive pre-order cards. The card game releases on February 28th. GameSpot's top news includes Sega denying Dreamcast production halt rumors, planning 100 new titles. Other news items included PS2 software development, the March 22nd release of Sakura Wars 3, a delay in Final Fantasy X, and a Neo Geo Pocket Super Real Mahjong port. Konami launched Konami Bit Audio, a music distribution site selling game soundtracks in high-quality formats. Bandai is taking pre-orders for the BN1, a cat-shaped communication robot, limited to 2,500 units at 50,000 yen. The ICS 21-4 online character show, hosted by Alchemist, is scheduled for April. Animate and DreamNet introduced Animate online shopping to support EC sites. Tokyo Joyopolis is hosting a Valentine's event, featuring a keyword hunt and a chocolate fast-eating battle. Konami released Java versions of Powerful Pro Baseball for mobile. This page highlights Dreamcast events for the week, starting with the grand opening of Japan's first curry theme park in Yokohama, boasting 7 famous curry restaurants. Dreamcast-related events include a release event for Aero Dancing Inn at Softmap stores in Osaka, and a Mission Strategy War event at Softmap GIGASTORE. There's also a Sega Net coupon campaign running, offering benefits like in-game items and discounts when accessed through DC, mobile, or PC. In the Goods and Presents section, readers have a chance to win a County Route 2000 router for comfortable online gaming, a set of 7 CDs featuring famous songs from Japanese Falcom games like Wise and Brandish, and an original Shika and Tomi calendar from Comic Toranoana. Finally, the page promotes the movie 102 Dalmatians, with a trial screening invitation for readers. The movie 102 is highlighted as the Pick-Up movie and is set to release on March 10th, with a preview event scheduled for February 24th. The next page showcases the logo for Crazy Games Co., Limited. The Dreamcast Weekly Data Station's top 10 software sales are led by Fighting Vipers 2, a popular fighting game. Giga Wing 2, a shooter with a deep gameplay system, takes second, followed by J-League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru Special Edition, a soccer management sim. Phantasy Star Online, the online RPG, secures 4th place, with Guilty Gear X, another fighting game, in 5th. Moero Justice Geikuen, also known as Project Justice, known for its justice system, is 6th. Power Smash Virtua Tennis lands in 7th due to its accessible controls. Tante Shinshi Dash, an adventure game with digital photos, is 8th. Gunspike, a shooting game featuring development materials, takes 9th place. Rounding out the list at 10th is Eldorado Gate Volume 1, an RPG. The Dreamcast despite perceptions, had a promising future lineup. Reader's Choice ranked the 30 most anticipated titles, starting with Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning at number 1, an adventure game with strategic elements. Shenmue 2, another adventure game, took second place, with news about a related movie and new character reveals. Sonic Adventure 2, an action game, secured the third spot, teasing character details and a demo disc. Comic Party, an adventure/simulation game, was highlighted as a weekly pickup. Macross M3, a shooting game, ranked 18th, offering early playable mecha and a homepage quiz. Other notable titles included Sega, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Super Robot Wars Alpha, and Love Hina Smile Again, demonstrating a diverse range of genres for the console. This page presents 2 game rankings and 2 weekly pickup sections. The Reader's Choice ranking lists games readers want on the Dreamcast, with Air topping the list, followed by Knights and The King of Fighters 2000. The Video Game Income ranking lists top-earning arcade games, led by Derby Owners Club 2000, Virtua Fighter 3 TB, and Guilty Gear XX. The weekly pickup sections highlight Virtua Fighter 4, the latest arcade installment in the series, and Mobile Suit Gundam, Federation vs. Zeon, a team battle action game also for arcades, featuring units from the One-Year War. The next page is a release schedule for Dreamcast software and hardware. In February 2001, notable games include 100 Swords, a strategy game, Street Fighter 03, Saikyoryu Dojo for matching service, an online fighting game, and Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, known internationally as Resident Evil Code, Veronica X. March 2001 sees releases like Fighting Fury, a pro wrestling game, Le Mans 24 Hours, a racing simulation, and Eve Zero Complete Arc of the Matter, an adventure game. April 2001 features Eldorado Gate Volume 4, a role-playing game, and Canvas Sepia Color Motif, an adventure game. June 2001 will bring Eldorado Gate Volume 5. August 2001 has Eldorado Gate Volume 6 planned. October 2001 includes Eldorado Gate Volume 7. Games with undecided release dates include NBA Hoop 2, a basketball game, Ready 2 Rumble Boxing Round 2, a boxing game, Monster Breed, a strategy game, MSR Metropolis Street Racer, a racing game also known as Metropolis Street Racer internationally, and various other titles spanning genres like adventure, puzzle, golf, and simulation. On the hardware side, Dreamcast peripherals like the Sega Gaga Visual Memory and various Dreamcast Direct Internet Service-related items like the Silver and Pearl Pink Dreamcast modems are listed with a release date of March 29, 2001. The zip drive is also listed as a peripheral, with an undecided release date. The Dreamcast Reader's Race, a ranking based on reader votes, places Soul Calibur at number 1. Following are Yukyu no Sayonara-san Saikai, Biohazard Code, Veronica, Resident Evil Code, Veronica, Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, and Phantasy Star Online. Further down the list are popular titles like Crazy Taxi, Grandia 2, and Sonic Adventure. The page highlights 2 newer entries. Fighting Vipers 2, ranked 78th, is praised for its combat and arcade-style combos, despite minor visual differences from the arcade version. Players from Gumna and Shiga shared positive comments. Giga Wing 2 at 94th is lauded for its intense action, scoring system, and 4-player mode, revitalizing the Dreamcast shooting scene. Players from Yamagata and Tokyo commented on the game's exciting score attack and bullet hell style. This page continues the Dreamcast Top 100 rankings, focusing on positions 21 to 77. Notable games include Sonic Adventure International, 21st, Dead or Alive 2, Samba de Amigo Ver.2000, and Shenmue Chapter 1, Yokosuka. Highlighted reviews include Superhero Retsuden, Hot Blood, a simplified superhero action game, and the new model Dreamcast keyboard, which is compact but could use larger keys. Phantasy Star Online, 5th, is praised for its groundbreaking online play and addictive action RPG gameplay. Reviewers highlight cooperative play, boss battles, customization, and exploration, while noting server stability concerns. Time and Tide, 25th, receives praise for its graphics, music, and adventure game elements. The reviewer commends the deep-sea salvage theme, original story, and faithfulness to its source material. The next page continues. The Dreamcast Top 100 Countdown, from position 77 down to 132. Games listed include Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes, Fighting Vipers 2, Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service, and Tokyo Bus Guide. Further down the list are titles like Elemental Gimmick Gear, LOL, Lack of Love, Guilty Gear X, and Climax Landers. Sega's fishing game, Get Bass, also makes an appearance, along with music titles like Poppin' Music 2. Featured reviews include Jet Set Radio, noted as the overseas version, and praised as a near-perfect game despite its difficulty, particularly highlighting the graffiti elements. Rival Schools, United by Fate, is commended for its solid story and fighting game mechanics, with special mention of the passionate youth diary aspect. Detective Saburo Jinguji Dash, an adventure game, is highlighted for its simple controls and philosophical themes about humanity and love. Finally, Super Street Fighter 2X for matching service gets a nostalgic review reflecting on rediscovering forgotten techniques and enjoying the game again. The list continues down to Dynamite Cop 2 at position 132. This page presents the Ops ranking of Dreamcast games, positions 133 to 189, showcasing the mid-range titles. It highlights Never 7 The End of Infinity, with a prominent review section. The review describes Never 7 as a science fiction-like love-adventure game from KID, a complete edition that delves into time-slip mysteries, initially from the PlayStation version. The reviewer, Ishiban, mentions enjoying older, cheaper games and music CDs recently, and praises Never 7 for its heroine-focused storylines and well-structured scenario. They point out user-friendly system features, like the shortcut mode and save data previews, as well as the appeal of added and user-created scenarios. Developer comments emphasize Never 7 as Key's most ambitious title, where each heroine's route reveals a piece of the overarching mystery. They boast a large scenario designed for replayability and a captivating story. User testimonials commend the game for its natural dialogue choices, immersive narrative, and charming characters. The Ops Dreamcast Game Rankings, covering positions 190 to 246, features titles like Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, Sega GT, Sega Rally 2, and Sonic Adventure. The rankings are in flux, with newer releases like Blue 6 rising and Jet Set Radio fluctuating. Detective Jinguji Saburo Dash moves up and down, while Dream Studio declines. The rankings analyze the lowest-rated F tier, focusing on character-based games. An unexpected game, Superhero, is mentioned. Upcoming releases are discussed, specifically Golf Shiuyo 2 and its updated version. A future ranking scheduled software. Sidebar previews games slated for future rankings, including installments of the Grauen no Torikago series, Hello Kitty's Heartful Cookies, Shaman, Hot Golf, Sydney 2000, and others. This Dreamcast update features software previews and reviews. Deko Kono My Bra, Digico's mail-in browser, is highlighted as a communication game. Super Robot Taisen Kikai O, Tech Romancer, gets an online-compatible version. Ultimate Fighting Championship earns a 7.66, and Boku Doraemon, Boku Doraemon, receives a 6.66. A peripheral ranking table details Dreamcast accessories. Reader feedback includes positive sentiments and nostalgia. March Topic Rush is no mistake. Promotes upcoming games, countering negativity. Contests are announced, including prediction games for Macross M3 and Western Mad Symphony. Participants in both prediction games are eligible for a Dreamcast peripheral lottery, regardless of their win status. The next page reveals breaking news regarding the Dreamcast. Reports are surfacing that production might halt as early as March. This news broke on January 24th, originating from the Nikkei newspaper, causing shockwaves and being widely reported by television news. The article details the negative impact on Sega's stock prices and public perception, amidst existing financial difficulties for Sega. While Sega downplayed the severity, labeling it public fact, The magazine expresses a more optimistic view. They highlight that despite the rumors, Dreamcast software development and the Dreamcast magazine itself are set to continue. The feature also reflects on the Dreamcast's launch in 1998, its advanced features, including online capabilities, and its position as a pioneer in network gaming. Screenshots of the Dreamcast console, peripherals like the ISDN terminal set and karaoke system, and game-related services such as Dream Passport 3, Lawson, and Direct illustrate the Dreamcast ecosystem. There's also a photo from the Sega New Year press conference, suggesting the gravity of the situation being discussed. Essentially, this page is a snapshot of the Dreamcast community reacting to and interpreting the potentially devastating news of production ceasing, while trying to maintain hope for the console's future. This page is all about the exciting news of Virtua Fighter 4 being showcased at the upcoming AOU Expo in February. It mentions that at last year's AM show, Sega unveiled the Naomi 2 arcade board, boasting incredible polygon pushing power. Now, movies of games running on Naomi 2, including Virtua Fighter 4, Virtua Striker 3, Wild Riders, and Club Kart, are being revealed. The big reveal is VFX, which, as many suspected, is indeed the latest entry in the Virtua Fighter series. The text emphasizes how much of a leap forward the graphics are on the Naomi 2 compared to previous Naomi hardware. They're talking about truly realistic visuals, not just standard CG models. We can see the evolution of the series, with screenshots showcasing Virtua Fighter from 1993, Virtua Fighter 2 from 1994, and Virtua Fighter 3 from 1996, highlighting the graphical progression over the years. The page is building hype, urging us to witness the new generation of Virtua Fighter and its aura at the AOU show. This page announces Virtua Fighter 4 and emphasizes the graphical leap thanks to the Naomi 2 arcade board. The headline shouts, "It's Virtua Fighter 4!" confirming the speculation around the VFX title. The article highlights that the game will be showcased at the AOU Expo in February, with a public showing on February 24th. The focus is on the enhanced graphics, stating the Naomi 2 is 10 times more powerful than the Naomi. Characters Pi and Lao are featured with the tagline, "Pi and Lao are also powerfully upgraded." The text details the improved character models, mentioning realistic details in their costumes and movements, and how they look incredibly detailed even down to their fingertips. The article also touches on the Naomi 2 hardware itself, with an image of the arcade board, emphasizing that this new hardware is bringing the arcade scene back to life and is a genuine step up for Sega in the arcade market. It mentions that we are only 3 weeks away from the public reveal, and to pay attention to future updates. The next page dives into the world of mobile gaming on these next-generation phones, asking the question, "Commander, recently mobile games are amazing, aren't they?" It talks about the mobile gaming scene on the 503i series phones, featuring games like Knights from Sonic Cafe, which is run by Sonic Team, alongside mobile versions of classic arcade games like Pac-Man and Star Soldier. There's a section explaining what Java is and its role in these new mobile phones. The page then explores the incredible features of these next-gen mobile phones, including watching TV, using a built-in digital camera, playing MP3 music, and even managing personal information, all thanks to advancements like 65,536 color TFT LCD screens and high-speed data communication. A pie chart shows the market share of mobile phone providers in Japan, with NTT Docomo holding a dominant position. Yuji Naka and Toshihiro Nagoshi of Sonic Team discuss the burgeoning mobile gaming market. They envision a future beyond simple minigames, with mobile titles potentially rivaling Dreamcast-era complexity. They acknowledge limitations like device capacity and display speeds, but see opportunities for innovative game design. The team considers network features, such as linking mobile games with titles like Phantasy Star Online. The discussion highlights the need for content tailored to mobile playstyles, rather than simple console ports. The article also mentions Sega's Sonic Cafe and other mobile game offerings from companies like Hudson, Bandai Networks, and Namco. They foresee a significant user base in Japan and the potential for mobile gaming to surpass the home console market, believing unique experiences will emerge in this new landscape. The next page is an advert for a Valentine's Day special gift campaign in Dreamcast Magazine. Readers can apply using the enclosed application form to receive a special telephone card. The advert highlights 4 games: Tricolor Crisis, Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, Tricolor Crisis Again, and Mercurius Pretty End of the Century. The application deadline is March 9th, and it mentions that all applicants will receive a telephone card as a present. Contact details are provided for inquiries about the campaign. This page showcases Valentine's Day themed Dreamcast games and artwork. It features a Saint Valentine collection of telephone cards. Guilty Gear X is highlighted, emphasizing its intense battles. Phantasy Star Online also appears, showing its online RPG world. Shenmue 2 is featured multiple times with different characters like Ryo, Joy, and Landai. 100 Swords, the strategy action game, is also present. Macross M3, the 3D shooting game, is shown with Valkyrie imagery. There are also sections for Dejigoro Channel, DC Game Tiger's Den, and Guru Guru Creature, along with illustrations for Love Mom, Sugoroku Various, and Sega Games Are the Best in the World, Samsung Yoshimatsu, all under the Valentine's Day theme. One section for Dramaga Drilly's game review is marked as Now Printing, indicating it's not yet available. The bottom text mentions pair-type designs for telephone cards numbered 15 to 20 and explains how to apply for them. This page is a preview of the arcade game Mobile Suit Gundam, Federation vs. Zeon, developed by Capcom and published by Banpresto. It's highlighted as the latest in a series of arcade Gundam games. The game is a team-based battle action game for 1 to 4 players on the Naomi arcade system, set during the One-Year War. The page emphasizes 2 vs 2 team battles in 3D fields, where players can choose between Federation or Zeon forces and experience intense mobile suit combat, including new type abilities. The article also suggests that Dreamcast users are interested in new arcade titles and hints at the possibility of NAOMI and Capcom arcade games being ported to the Dreamcast. The next page continues the preview of the arcade game Mobile Suit Gundam, Federation vs. Zeon, highlighting the simple controls using a directional lever and 4 buttons, emphasizing the ability to evade attacks with sidesteps. The article describes basic actions, like shooting with a beam rifle, and melee attacks with a heat hawk. Screenshots showcase gameplay, with a Zaku 2 and Gundam engaging in combat, including beam saber action. The page then poses questions about the mobile suits and pilots that will appear in the game, suggesting that all mobile suits from the anime might be playable. It's still unclear if mobile armor will be playable or just enemy encounters. Pilot selection is also a mystery, but the article speculates that pilot and machine selection might be separate, possibly allowing players to create unusual pairings, like Ramba Ral piloting a Dom. The game is also said to reproduce that opening scene, implying a famous scene from the Gundam anime is recreated within the game. Finally, the article touches upon the history of Gundam games, remarking on how far they have come, and suggesting this arcade title could be the type of Gundam game Dreamcast fans have been waiting for, especially with its 3D graphics and multiplayer battles. A secret section hints at more information to be revealed later. This page showcases the arcade game Pro Gear no Arashi, known internationally as Pro Gear, a collaboration between Capcom and Cave. This horizontal scrolling shooter is highlighted as a game for shooter enthusiasts looking for something new. The game's controls are described as simple, using a stick and 2 buttons for shot and bomber actions. The article details the game's story, set in a kingdom reliant on wind power, where advanced propeller technology is central to their civilization. The narrative revolves around children who have lost their parents in war and are now throwing themselves into battle. Pro Gear is emphasized as a return to intense, bolt-heavy shooting experiences reminiscent of Cave's signature style from games like Donpachi and Guangji, known for their overwhelming barrages of projectiles. It's stated that Pro Gear aims to be a notable horizontal scrolling shooter, offering deep gameplay and story. The game uses the CPSYSTEM2 arcade board and is slated for release in arcades in about 3 months from the publication date of this magazine. Screenshots show intense bullet patterns and gameplay action. Character art is also displayed, showcasing some of the pilots or characters from the game. Pro Gear allows players to form teams using a fighter and a gunner. Fighters, such as the stern Bolt Boyar with the militant and the fiery ringlead with the gambler, pilot the main aircraft. Gunners, including Nail Nera Nilus, Beta type, Chine Chariot, Alpha type, and Rivet Rivera, Gamma type, provide sub-weapon support. The gameplay features 2 shot types, standard shots and lock-on attacks in gunner mode, which slows movement. Players face the Old Senate, a formidable enemy with a vast arsenal. Despite the game's cute visuals, the game emphasizes strategic play and challenges players with bullet hell action and boss battles, like the Gabriel = Hammer Emperor. This page is dedicated to Street Fighter 03, known internationally as Street Fighter Alpha 3. It announces the release of a new version of the game for the Dreamcast, titled Street Fighter 03 Saikyoryu Dojo for Matching Service, alongside a new arcade version called Street Fighter 03 Upper. The page highlights that new characters are being added to this version, including Fei Long, Guile, Shin Akuma, Shinguki, and Final M Bison, Final Vega. A key feature is the Dreamcast version's ability to create custom OISM characters that can then be used in the arcade version by transferring data via the VM visual memory. The article emphasizes that this version builds upon the Consumer 03, adding even more characters and modes, making it the largest in the series to date, with Shin Akuma available from the start. It also notes the arcade version runs on CP System 2 or NAOMI hardware, and teases the challenge of fighting against these potentially powerful custom OISM characters. This page continues the coverage of Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is known as Street Fighter 03 in Japan, focusing on the new Dreamcast release, Street Fighter 03 Saikyoryu Dojo for Matching Service. It details additional game modes like Dramatic Battle, where two players team up, Survival Mode to test endurance against endless foes, and Final Battle Mode, allowing players to jump straight to boss fights. It emphasizes the inclusion of Fei Long, Guile, and other characters from the consumer version. The page then switches focus to Puzzle Loop 2, a puzzle game. It describes the simple rules of matching 3 or more balls, and highlights new modes in Puzzle Loop 2, such as Power Mode and Quest Mode. Power Mode tasks players with clearing 2,000 balls, utilizing power-ups, while Quest Mode follows the protagonist Mojojo rescuing his captured girlfriend, featuring branching stages for extended gameplay. The page also points out stage gimmicks, like warp rails, and special items. This page showcases Macross M3, a 3D shooting game for the Dreamcast. The tagline, "Into the infinitely spreading sea of stars," sets the stage for a space-based adventure. This special feature in Dreamcast Magazine highlights the game's story, set a few years after the conclusion of a major space war, where peace seems to be threatened by a new conflict engulfing the galaxy. Promised as a sequel to the TV anime series Super Dimension Fortress Macross, this highly anticipated title is finally complete, offering players a dramatic and exhilarating shooting experience. The game data reveals it's a single-disc game for 1 to 4 players, categorized as a 3D shooting game, SHT. It was released on February 22nd, priced at 6,800 yen. Notably, it supports VGA output and both broadband and modem connections for online play. The page features screenshots of anime-style characters and spacecraft, typical of the Macross series. This page highlights Macross M3 for the Dreamcast, a 3D shooting game set in the expansive Macross universe. The game invites players to participate in a war that transcends generations. It builds upon the legacy of the Macross anime, focusing on themes of transforming fighters, giant aliens, and the unifying power of song. The feature delves into the background of the game, set after a major space war, and follows ace pilot Max and Zentradi warrior Milia as they navigate their lives and positions after the conflict. Macross M3 explores their story and the activities of their special unit, Dancing Skull. The gameplay is described as exhilarating aerial combat with Valkyries, emphasizing acrobatic shooting action. The game system is designed to be simple, focusing on missile and machine gun combat, with strategic depth added through customization options called plugins, and special commands like Technical Command and Tranquil Command. Furthermore, the game incorporates visual event scenes throughout its episodes, featuring original characters like Moraramia and interactions with Max and others, portraying their military life and familial bonds. The tagline, "3 Warriors Fight Through," suggests a narrative focus on a trio of characters in this compelling entry to the Macross saga. The next page continues the feature on Macross M3. Episode 3 is titled Escort of Visitor and includes Stage 6, Enemy Battlecruiser Fleet Interception Command, and Stage 7, Intercept the New Military Force. Stage 6 describes the mission briefing, where new model deployment information has been leaked to the opposing forces. The VF-5000 is being transported unarmed and needs protection. Max and Milia are tasked with escorting the Argenics in VF-3000. Stage 7 details a new military force appearing, with reinforcements possibly arriving from the enemy. The mission is to escort the VF-5000 to Argenics, There is a column section that discusses the VF-5000, explaining it as a new main combat aircraft deployed in 2020. Developed by New Star Industry, it incorporates Zentradi technology from the VF-1. The game screenshots showcase in-game action and dialogues between characters, such as, sweet, surplus, so you are not my opponent after all. Episode 4 of Macross M3, Black Celebration, sees Unified Forces infiltrating a rebel-held research facility on Neo Aegis that was conducting dangerous biological weapons research. The facility, which had a biohazard incident and was scheduled for destruction after a previous evacuation, is the target of 3 stages. Stage 8, involving navigating a valley to approach the facility, Stage 9, where players must destroy the facility in a desert location, and Stage 10, where Moaramia, a newly playable character, confronts a giant insect-like bioweapon. Moaramia, a Zentradi pilot who joined the Unified Forces, is a skilled combatant by this point. The column delves into the history of the protoculture, the origin of humans, and Zentradi as biological weapons created for interstellar conflict. The humans don't remember this history, while the Zentradi have a distrust of human culture. Macross M3's next missions, spanning episodes 5, 11, and 12, focus on protecting a weapon research plant amidst escalating conflict. Episode 5, Feast of Sandstorm, tasks players with defending the plant from Zentradi guerrilla forces in unstable Algeniacs. Episode 11, Suppress Guerrilla Forces Advance, takes place within the Digorilla stronghold, Iron Territory, requiring players to repel numerous destroyer-type enemies using missile interception and hit-and-run tactics while the plant's defenses hold. Performance determines unlockable plugins and units. Stage 12, No Time for Relief, sees Max's forces nearly eliminate ground units, but a second wave of bombardment units appears. Players must engage in continuous aerial combat using the Gerwalk form. The column section reflects on the renewed conflict following a period of peace, emphasizing political tensions and the collapse of peaceful coexistence. This page showcases Macross M3 and details further missions in the game. A column discusses Zentradi weaponry, highlighting their battle pods and suits are powerful but somewhat outdated. Episode 6, Fire Carnival, involves suppressing Zentradi terrorist attacks. Stage 13, Satellite Orbit Pursuit Battle, describes a mission where intelligence suggests enemy activity in satellite orbit, requiring the Dancing Skull Squadron to deploy and intercept predicted fold-out tactics. Milia's Valkyrie is emphasized as crucial. Stage 14, And Then They Appeared, is about the subsequent battle against variable Glaug units piloted by Aramia after suppressing the initial terrorist forces. The Glaug units are described as challenging, even for Myalia, due to their high performance and durability. The quote emphasizes the imminent arrival of a warship-class enemy, 5 seconds until warship class. A Macross Initial Limited Lucky Card campaign is advertised for Macross M3, offering prizes such as a 124th VF-1S Fighter Valkyrie model kit, a Macross Complete Transformation Series VF-11B Thunderbolt, a Macross M3 mini soundtrack CD, and plastic model kits of VFA, VF-1J, and VF-1S Valkyries. This page dives into Comic Party, highlighting it as a doujin game. It welcomes players to the world of Comic Party, and emphasizes that those who step into this realm are destined to become otaku, or dedicated fans. The page suggests this game deeply explores the doujin culture. It seems to be presented as a love adventure game within the doujin scene. It mentions a development update from Aquaplus, stating they had announced the Dreamcast version last year, and it took some time, but they are nearing completion and can finally show Dreamcast footage. They ask for continued support. The game data section indicates the game is from Aquaplus and planned for release this spring. The genre is Adventure plus Simulation, ADV plus SLG, and it is designed for one player. The official website address is listed as http://www.aquaplus.co.jp/. The text boxes surrounding the main title seem to be promotional blurbs, one saying, "You're so lucky," and another expressing excitement about the game's love aspect within the doujin culture. Another text box seems to be addressing readers, joking about not leaving people behind if they don't understand the doujin culture, and encourages them to dive in and learn about the Comic Party game. This page continues the focus on Comic Party, a game deeply rooted in doujin culture. It elaborates on the game's premise, stating it's set in the world of comic party events, monthly gatherings where amateur artists sell their works, and emphasizes that players entering this world are becoming otaku. The game is described as a love-adventure simulation where players experience doujin activities and build relationships with girls who are knowledgeable and understanding of this culture. It highlights the gameplay mechanics related to doujin creation, showing a page selection screen where players can choose the number of pages and see the associated costs. There's mention of how important understanding doujin culture is for enjoying the game, and even a kamipat aptitude check, asking players to identify characters in the background of the left page, testing their otaku level and knowledge of character origins. Screenshots include a calendar screen and a conversation scene featuring the character Raiko, who says, "But, just when things were getting good, you came along, thank you." The page implies that even those unfamiliar with doujin culture can enjoy Comic Party, but having some otaku knowledge enhances the experience. This page introduces more of the main characters from Comic Party, highlighting their unique personalities. First up is Taishi Kuhonbutsu, voiced by Takayuki Kondo, who is described as the protagonist's best friend, initially skilled in art but now deeply immersed in the world of doujin, and seems to be pushing the main character down this path. Next is Mizuki Takase, voiced by Yuko Minaguchi, portrayed as a childhood friend who is also in the same university faculty as the protagonist. She's depicted as someone who is very familiar with the otaku world and acts like a reliable older sister. Minami Makimura, voiced by Mika Yamada, works at the Comic Party Operating Company and is depicted as a friendly and approachable older sister figure. She is said to be very supportive of the protagonist's doujin activities. Lastly, there is Yu Inagawa, voiced by Kaoru Sasada, a well-known doujin artist from the Kansai region, who is now trying to expand her reach to Tokyo. She is described as someone who is very knowledgeable about doujin culture and helps the protagonist, though her straightforward and sometimes pushy nature can cause trouble for those around her. The page continues to build the world of Comic Party and its diverse cast of characters that inhabit the doujin scene. This page continues introducing the cast of characters in Comic Party. First up is Amy Oba, voiced by Shizuka Ishikawa. She's the head of a very famous and successful doujin circle, considered top tier, and believes strongly in sales figures for doujinshi. She's confident and skilled, but outside of manga, she's just a typical, somewhat hopeless high schooler, known for being impulsive and simple-minded. Next is Chisa Tsukamoto, voiced by Sonozaki Mie, the daughter of the printing shop the main character uses. She's always cheerful and energetic, a very honest and well-behaved girl, but also clumsy and makes mistakes often. Despite this, she works hard to help her parents at the shop. The protagonist calls her Onisan, and she's the classic little sister type. Finally, there is Aya Hasebe, voiced by Sumi Baba, a doujin artist who creates original manga, not parodies. She's skilled at writing deep stories, but her mature art style and complex content make it hard for her work to get noticed. She appreciates the protagonist's understanding of her work and starts collaborating with him. This page is about the Dreamcast version of Comic Party. It highlights the new features added to this version. Firstly, all dialogue scenes are now fully voiced, not just key events, and the voice cast is the same as the anime. Secondly, the love feeling with the heroines has been greatly enhanced, with new scenarios added to deepen the romantic aspects. Thirdly, there are changes to the screen layout and production during doujin creation, made in response to fan feedback, making the system easier to play and more refined for console users. The page also features a character spotlight on Raiko Haga, voiced by Akiko Muta. She is described as a cheerful and friendly cosplayer, popular amongst her friends, and enjoys fun activities. She is described as a high school girl who is not conscious of being different from boys. Her hobby is all types of games, especially fighting games, and she works part-time at a game center. Finally, there is a mention that the Comic Party TV anime will begin airing in April. The anime setting is slightly different from the game, with the protagonist and other characters like Tai, Rika, and Shizu being high school students. The anime production is by Two Heart Anime Studio, KSS. The next page unveils information on Shenmue 2, revealing that production has been underway in secret for over a year since Shenmue. The game was previewed at screenings of Shenmue the Movie, held in 5 cities across Japan, where footage of Shenmue 2 was shown, generating considerable excitement. This magazine issue marks the beginning of in-depth coverage of Shenmue 2. The highlight of the page is the introduction of a new main character for Shenmue 2, named Ren Wuxiang. His character design is showcased prominently with the text declaring, "The sub-protagonist of 2 is decided to be this guy, Ren Wuxiang. Ren Wuxiang appears." The page emphasizes the evolution of the graphics, stating, "See the latest footage evolved over 2 years, showcasing improved character models for Ren and Ryo Hazuki compared to previous presentations." The text mentions that these scenes are from the production announcement event in 98 year 12.20 and highlights the dramatic improvements in Ren's expressions and overall realism compared to the older footage. The page also features a group photo of the people involved in the project, including Yu Suzuki and voice actors, in attendance at the Shenmue the Movie event. This page continues the Shenmue 2 coverage, highlighting the new character, Ren Wuxiang, and posing the question of whether he will be an enemy or ally. Ren is described as the leader of a street gang in Aberdeen, Hong Kong, originally from Mongolia, with a mysterious background, and his encounter with Ryo is anticipated to be filled with trouble. The page emphasizes that it has been 1 year since the events of the first game, Shenmue, and announces that Shenmue 2 is moving towards a climax in its development. It revisits the Shenmue the Movie screenings held across Japan, where footage of Shenmue 2 was shown, generating excitement. The article includes comments from Masakazu Matsukaze, the voice actor for Ryo, and Hazuki, the voice actor for Ren, discussing their work on the game and the advancements in its development, particularly in the visual aspects and character expressions since the initial production announcement in 1998. A screenshot of Aberdeen in Shenmue 2 is featured, and there are photos from the Shenmue the Movie event, including Yu Suzuki and the voice cast. The next page continues the Shenmue 2 feature, highlighting Ren Wuxiang, referred to as Sharp Eye Bearer. The page questions whether Ren will be an enemy or ally to Ryo, Yu Suzuki, and voice actors Masakazu Matsukaze, the voice of Ryo, and Hazuki, the voice of Ren, are featured in interview snippets. They discuss the game's development, noting that it is in its final stages and focusing on refining action scenes to be more engaging. They emphasize the significant improvements in graphics, motion capture, and overall realism compared to the first Shenmue. The game's Hong Kong setting is highlighted as vibrant and lively, contrasting with the previous game. Yu Suzuki expresses his dedication to making Shenmue 2 a deeply immersive entertainment experience, encouraging fans to look forward to its release and promising a game with substantial content and replay value. Screenshots of Ren and images from a 98 production presentation meeting and latest movie image are included, showcasing the visual advancements. The voice actors and Yu Suzuki convey their excitement and anticipation for players to experience the enhanced Shenmue 2. This page is a Dreamcast Magazine special report focusing on the tutorial mode of the game 100 Swords. The article highlights that the tutorial mode is designed to teach players everything from the basics to advanced gameplay mechanics. It features a guide character named E-Roll, a magician, who explains the game rules. The tutorial is broken down into sections such as basic gameplay, advanced gameplay, soldier types, and practical training, ensuring players understand all aspects of the game. Screenshots illustrate gameplay scenarios within the tutorial, showing unit deployment and combat. Game data details are provided, including the genre listed as SLG, Simulation Game, a release date of February 15th, and a price of 5,800 yen for the regular edition and 980 yen for the at-Barai version, released on February 8th. The game supports 1 to 4 players and requires 27 blocks. The web page address is also listed as http://100.drickas.ni.jp/. It mentions a trial version, at-Barai version, available, and notes that a key is required for the full version, priced at 2,980 yen for the at-Barai version, available from February 15th. This page continues the Dreamcast Magazine special report on 100 Swords and introduces the handwritten letter and encyclopedia features to further enjoy the game. It explains that by selecting Record from the Mode Select screen, players can access letter and encyclopedia. The handwritten letter feature allows players to read letters exchanged between the main characters, the young boy Raph and the young Queen Falls, delivered by Shu Ambro, a cat-like messenger. This feature helps players understand their circumstances and thoughts, deepening their connection with the story and characters' feelings. The encyclopedia section explains it is a feature that contains various information about the world of 100 Swords, including people, countries, geography, and terms that appear in the game. Players can look up these terms to gain a deeper understanding of the game's world setting. Both features can be accessed from the Adventure Mode section. The next page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game 100 Swords, focusing on conquering all maps in the trial version. It highlights 3 key points to master: understanding unit compatibility, utilizing movement route designation, and grasping the overall situation using the zoomed-out mode. The guide explains the adventure mode, where players use white and king forces to achieve map objectives. Unit compatibility is crucial, with unit types like cavalry, infantry, archer, and sorcerer, each having strengths and weaknesses against each other. Map 1, Red and White Battle, emphasizes unit compatibility. The map layout and terrain features are important considerations for battle strategy. The guide also mentions that unit deployment changes based on player choices, specifically whether or not to fight with a character named Newell. 2 scenarios are presented based on the Newell choice: when you don't fight Newell and when you fight Newell. Each scenario details the unit placement and enemy leaders. In the no-fight scenario, the player's leader is Rayef, with units like infantry and archer, while enemy leaders are Demon and Jelki, with cavalry and infantry units respectively. In the fight scenario, enemy leaders are Joan and Jelki, with cavalry and infantry units, and the ally leader is Samagerville, with infantry and archer units. Finally, the guide introduces the zoom-out mode, activated by pressing L and R triggers simultaneously. This mode provides a bird's-eye view of the entire map, useful for understanding terrain and unit positions for strategic movement and planning. This page continues the strategy guide for 100 Swords, focusing on Map 2, Escape from the Rocky Cliff. The objective is to guide Raff to the northern exit within 12 minutes, protecting him from enemies. The guide emphasizes using Somashirville and Neil to clear the path ahead for Rafagath. It advises prioritizing Somashirville to deal with enemies. Specific tactics are detailed, such as using Neil to create distance from enemies for safer attacks. The strategy guide highlights utilizing terrain advantages like castle walls to attack enemies from above, and using unit AI settings for optimal movement and combat. The guide outlines specific enemy leaders like Lentz, Mirabeau, Hem, Mohep, and Bandor, and provides tactical advice for different sections of the map, numbered 1 through 6 on the provided map image. It also mentions victory and defeat conditions. Victory is achieved when Rayaf reaches the destination. Defeat occurs if Rayaf dies or fails to reach the destination within 12 minutes. This page is dedicated to Fire Pro Wrestling D, showcasing the fundamental gameplay system of this long-running wrestling series. It emphasizes the series' core concept of timing battles, and how mastering timing is key to victory. The page breaks down the attack process into 3 steps. First, wrestlers grapple. Second, a timing window opens for both players to input commands. And finally, the technique is executed based on precise timing. It highlights that this timing-based system is central to Fire Pro Wrestling. The article details the different types of attacks assigned to buttons: small, medium, and large techniques. Small techniques are easier to land, while large techniques inflict more damage but are riskier to attempt against a healthy opponent. The game encourages players to strategically choose techniques based on the situation and the opponent's condition. The page also mentions various combat scenarios and techniques beyond basic grapples, such as attacks from a distance, counterattacks, corner attacks, down attacks, ground attacks, diving attacks, and apron techniques. It also touches upon the appeal function, adding another layer of depth to the wrestling experience. Screenshots illustrate the 3 stages of the timing battle system and various in-game wrestling moments. The game data box lists the release date as March 1st and the price as 6,800 yen, or 360 points. It also includes a website address for Spike, and mentions a trading card game bonus for the initial limited edition. The next page delves deeper into Fire Pro Wrestling D, highlighting new features. It's all about Century-type Fire Pro, and declares, from D onwards, new elements join the ranks. Firstly, ground grappling is significantly enhanced. Called Veil Tudo-style groundwork, it allows for transitions from tackles to mount positions, and from tackle escapes to back mounts, expanding ground-based offense and timing-based battles to the mat. Secondly, wrestler and group customization is emphasized. You can recreate the real pro wrestling world by freely changing wrestler affiliations and even their names. It shows options to edit wrestler groups and individual wrestler names with a kanji conversion feature to make it easier to rename wrestlers. This feature allows players to reflect the ever-changing landscape of wrestling promotions in their game. Finally, the sound is getting a significant upgrade. Sound is stated as a crucial element in pro wrestling, and the game is focusing on enhancing the audio experience with realistic sound effects and immersive arena sounds, aiming to please Fire Pro fans who value the audio aspect of the game. The page mentions that all wrestlers' names and group names are editable, offering complete customization. This page continues the Fire Pro Wrestling D coverage and announces 4 new system elements. The first element, Wrestling Weapon Attack Revival, brings back weapon usage from under the ring. This adds to the chaotic ring action. Next, Dream Card Combination Freedom highlights the ability to create dream matches, even featuring wrestlers like Giant Baba on a blade mat, showcasing the extensive customization. Hardcore Style is the third element, letting players choose various deathmatch styles for even more extreme and violent matches, including bloody matches. The fourth new system element focuses on enhanced edit functions. Wrestler Edit allows for detailed customization, going beyond just stats and logic, letting players create unique wrestlers. Referee Edit is also available, allowing customization of referees' appearance and preferences. Belt Edit lets players create up to 8 original belts, including heavy, junior, and 6-man tag titles, to use in title matches, even tracking historical defense records. Group Edit allows players to create original wrestling groups, designing logos that appear in the ring, encouraging the collection of favorite wrestlers. The page also previews the Victory Road Revamped mode, stating it's a simple system where you conquer each group by winning through ranks and match formats, a departure from the story-driven modes of previous X and G versions. This mode promises intense battles, where critical hits are key to victory. The tagline is, "Control all groups." 2001 is declared Fire Pro Year, with the franchise expanding across multiple platforms. Fire Pro Wrestling D for Dreamcast sees a strategy guide release. Fire Pro Wrestling Ace is coming to Game Boy Advance on March 21st, promising deep gameplay, edit modes, and unique modes like Audience Match. Fire Pro Wrestling A for iMode mobile phones launched January 22nd, featuring online competition, original wrestler creation, and national rankings. Finally, Fire Pro Wrestling CB, Card Bout, a trading card game, releases in March, offering strategic deck building and card battles, appealing to both card game and Fire Pro fans. This comprehensive expansion aims to provide diverse Fire Pro experiences across various media. This page highlights the importance of strategy guides, especially for data-driven simulation games, with a focus on Saskatsuku Tokudaigo J-League Pro Soccer Club, Wotsukuru, known internationally as Sega Worldwide Soccer Manager 2, or Let's Make a J-League Soccer Club 2. It mentions that strategy guides are essential for enjoying and mastering complex games. The page details different types of strategy guides for Sakatsuku, including Complete Guide, a comprehensive guide covering everything for beginners, priced at 1,800 yen and 480 pages. Perfect Guide Essential Knowledge Edition, focused on deeper gameplay knowledge, priced at 2,000 yen and 208 pages. Perfect Guide Thorough Analysis Edition, emphasizing in-depth analysis of game elements like practice and matches, priced at 1,400 yen and 464 pages. These guides are designed to help players navigate the intricacies of Saskatsuku and enjoy the game more fully. The page also includes a ranking table of popular strategy guides from 2000. Looking at the list, many titles are RPGs and adventure games, with some strategy and simulation games included. Several Dreamcast games appear in the ranking, demonstrating the platform's popularity and the demand for strategy guides to accompany its games. The top-ranked title is Dragon Quest V-2. Many of the games listed in the ranking are adventure and RPG titles, suggesting a trend in popular game genres at the time. The Internet age has transformed the strategy guide market, shifting focus from simple walkthroughs to more in-depth, data-driven guides, especially for online games. Booktower in Akihabara notes that while guides still sell, visual books and those for dedicated fans are popular. Guides are most successful when released alongside the game. The popularity of online games like Phantasy Star Online fuels the demand for navigation-type guides. These guides provide detailed data and strategic insights. Examples include the Phantasy Star Online Perfect Guide, which focuses on character builds and item data, and the Phantasy Star Online Complete Guide, offering comprehensive information for online and offline play. In contrast, the ease of accessing basic game information online has diminished the value of simpler guides. The page displays a collection of Dreamcast strategy guides for various game genres. Guides include Akihabara Denugumi Patapais, focusing on puzzle elements and networking action. Action Adventure Undercover AD 2025's guide offers creator insights and strategic advice. Aero Dancing and Aero Dancing F have official guides with aircraft data and flight strategies. Guides for Atsumare, Guru Guru Onsen, Imperial no Taka, and Advanced Daisen Ryaku provide tips for social simulation, strategy, and military gameplay, respectively. Winning Post-4 Program 2000's guide caters to beginners, while Espionage NTS's guide covers maps and events. Animaster's guide focuses on monster raising, and Eternal Arcadia's guide offers a comprehensive overview of the game's world, strategy, and itemization. This document details a variety of Dreamcast strategy guides. Guides include the NBA 2K Perfect Guide, Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Official Guidebook, Guilty Gear X Perfect Guide, Eldrad Gate Chapters 1 and 2 World and Strategy Guide, Northward White Illumination Official Guidebook, Distant Promise Recollection Perfect Guide, Elemental Gimmick Gear Official Guidebook, Mobile Battleship Nadesico, The Mission Superspeed Official Guidebook, Grandia 2 Official Strategy Guide, Ugami Ichirobo Totoku Nikki Sakura Wars Song Show, Red Hot Love Letter Yori Perfect Guide, Operation Guide. Each guide, ranging in price from 980 to 1,800 yen, offers different focuses. Some concentrate on gameplay strategy, character analysis, and combo techniques, while others cover world-building elements, character introductions, and storyline walkthroughs, often including developer interviews, maps, and character illustrations. Various publishers are represented, with SoftBank Publishing producing the most guides. This page features strategy guides for various Dreamcast games. RPG fans can find guides for Grandia 2. Fishing game enthusiasts have options for Get Bass. For strategy RPG players, there are guides for Sakura Wars 2, including a capture guide, and the original Sakura Wars Battle and Romance chapters, plus a guide for Sakura Wars Columns 2. Fighting game fans can utilize the King of Fighters 99 Evolution Official Guide. Zombie shooter fans can reference the House of the Dead 2 Perfect Guide. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 6th has strategy and data editions. Music game guides exist for Samba de Amigo and Jet Set Radio. Soccer fans have multiple guides for J-League Pro Soccer Club, Otsukuru, along with fan books for the strategy, RPG Sunrise, Ayutan. This page details strategy guides for various Dreamcast games. Highlights include a guide for Shenmue offering comprehensive world and character information with maps and flowcharts. Guides for the Shutoku Battle series cover racing techniques, car settings, and hidden elements. The Evolution series guides provide data on item locations, dungeon strategies, and enemy information. A guide for July uses flowcharts to explain the story and features character sketches. Giant Graham wrestling game guides introduce wrestlers, combos, and training modes, hinting at secret characters. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tukon Retsuden 4, features move lists, wrestler information, and interviews. Finally, a guide for Street Fighter II Third Strike uses photos to explain advanced techniques. This page highlights strategy guides for various Dreamcast games. Saint Luminous Blade offers combat and character strategy. Sentimental Graffiti 2 has two guides, a complete guide with flowcharts and a lighter starting guide. Zombie Revenge provides stage walkthroughs and enemy tactics. Sega GT focuses on car mechanics and tuning. Soul Calibur's official guide is comprehensive, and Sega Rally 2's covers courses and techniques. Sorcerian provides a fantasy series guide. Derby Owners Club has two guides for horse racing. Detective Gentleman Dash aids investigation. Sonic Adventure has multiple guides focusing on characters and progression. Lastly, a fan book for KG Sengoku TRB is also briefly mentioned. This Dreamcast strategy guide selection offers a diverse range of titles. Puzzle fans can find help with Choo Choo Rocket. Dead or Alive 2 focuses on visual and character content. Tokusatsu Buken Katsugeki Superhero Retsuden provides scenario guidance. Chuku Senki Kikayo covers robot details and interviews. D2D's Dinner Table 2 Deep File delves into the world of D2 with interviews. Virtual on Oratorio Tangram receives multiple guides covering various aspects of gameplay. Tomb Raider 4 offers complete maps and strategies for both PlayStation and Dreamcast. Desperia guides include stage strategies and data. Finally, Dream Passport guides assist with internet setup, and Tricolor Crisis offers character info and event guidance. Quote, the next page showcases a selection of Dreamcast strategy guides. Napple Tale, Alice in Daydream is covered. promising illustration maps and design insights. Nobunaga's Ambition. Rekka no Gotoku Maniac's Guide is for advanced players, packed with CG artwork and secret data. For fighting game fans, there's a Virtua Fighter 3TB technical manual and a perfect guide detailing character moves and analysis of the game's systems. Nanatsu no Hikan. Senritsu no Bishu, or Seven Mansions, Terror's Smile, a horror adventure game, has a hyper guide focusing on co-op play strategies. Resident Evil Code, Veronica, gets an official guide, promising story flowcharts and complete item and map data. Virtua Striker 2 Ver. 2000.1 complete guide covers game formations and player data. The visual novel Never 7: The End of Infinity has a fan book explaining the game's setting and events. Nobunaga's Ambition, Shousei Roku with Power-Up Kit, offers hyperguides for both intelligence and military aspects, catering to both PlayStation and Dreamcast versions. Lastly, Power Stone has a complete guide focused on teaching players how to win against the computer, regardless of character choice, highlighting action illustrations and stage strategies. This page lists strategy guides for various Dreamcast games. Guides for Panzerfront, Framegride, multiple editions, Berserk, Millennium Empire Arc, and Black Matrix AD are detailed, offering mission strategies, story analysis, and art showcases. Phantasy Star Online boasts a variety of guides for online and offline play. Other games covered include Poppin' Music, with song-specific strategies, Blue Stinger, featuring screenshots and flowcharts, and baseball titles, Pro Yaku Team de Asobu, and Pro Yaku Team wo Tsukuru, with player data and complete guides. Finally, Mahjong Taikai 2 Special has a guide for beginners with input from a pro player. Prices range from 1,000 to 1,600 yen. This catalog entry highlights several Dreamcast strategy guides. Fighting game guides include those for Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, detailing character strategies, combos, and hidden content. Maken X's guide provides stage navigation, walkthroughs, and developer interviews. The Mercurius Pretty Guide offers homunculi raising strategies. Guides for Marionette Company 2 Chu and Moero. Justice Gakuen, rival schools united by fate, provide in-depth data and character profiles, respectively. Sports game guides for Pro Yaku Team offer player data and gameplay advice. Other guides cover Yukyu Gensokyoku 3 Perpetual Blue with detailed charts, Love Hina, Sudden Engagement Happen with scenario information, Langrisser Millennium with character data and illustrations, and Marionette Handler with marionette programming techniques. This page showcases a variety of strategy guides for Dreamcast games. Guides are available for Langrisser Millennium, with 2 books offered. Real Sound. Wind Regret has a guide covering characters and gameplay changes. Romania No. 203 offers 100% coverage, and Roommate Novel, Sato Yuka, focuses on story and graphics. Revive. Sai provides 2 guides detailing system data and character introductions. Rune Jade covers gameplay, missions, and online features. World Neverland Pluses focuses on Kingdom Life. Ring provides strategies for its worlds. Ready 2 Rumbleboxing highlights characters and techniques. Prices range from 848 yen to 1,980 yen. Finally, a publisher contact list featuring names like NTT Publishing and Enterbrain is included. This page is about a charity auction event held on the Sega AM website. The auction, titled Dream Match Get, featured rare Sega AM items and creator contributions, running from December 22, 2000 to January 8, 2001. The page highlights the auction's success and reveals some of the winning bids. The top bid was for a Cyber Troopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram Ver.5.66 tapestry, which sold for 43,500 yen. Another notable item was the Virtual On CG Collection Perspective, which went for 10,500 yen. The page also lists other items that were part of the auction, with their winning bid ranges including a Dynamite Cop set, a Virtual On Cybergear Clear Figure, the Virtual On Story Setting Collection Schema Theater, a Bingo Party Billboard, a Sonic Money Box, a Kraken DJ How-To video, an Amusement Vision WinPre CD player, a signed autograph from Hironobu Kageyama, a Ferrari keyholder, a Sonic multi-cover aeroplane, and a Zippo lighter themed after the House of the Dead. This page is about a Challenge Nagoshi in Daytona event. The event is a competition in Daytona, USA 2001 on Dreamcast, where a challenger named Mr. Tanabe Yuichi paid 4,200 yen to compete against President Nagoshi, presumably Toshihiro Nagoshi, the head of Amusement Vision. The article details the match, explaining the rules. Handicap mode was on. It was a best of 3 rounds with course selection alternating. The page shows photos of Nagoshi and Tanabe exchanging greetings and competing. The competition is described over 2 rounds, with Tanabe being relaxed despite claiming to be nervous, while Nagoshi shows more obvious reactions. Nagoshi chose the 3-7 Speedway course. Ultimately, Tanabe wins both races, resulting in Tanabe's overwhelming victory. As a prize, Tanabe gets Nagoshi to sign his game goods, which Nagoshi remarks are now rare. Finally, there is an announcement for a Daytona USA 2001 Network Battle Tournament, inviting players to prepare themselves for the event, details of which will be announced in future issues of Dorimaga. This page of the magazine is dedicated to player experiences in Phantasy Star Online. It's part of the Digital Analog Channel feature and focuses on the online gameplay. Players share their anecdotes, such as one person being sleep-deprived from playing online, and another enjoying 3-hour lobby sessions that are more than just simple chat. There's a section called Stylish Encounter Place, showing how players arrange in-game meetups, like at Ship 10, Block 8, at 11 o'clock. Another story humorously recounts forgetting team names and passwords. The page also includes an information corner, which mentions Love Telephony No 1/4. Finally, it introduces player characters or personas Uz, who is described as a MyPace illustrator, and Maki-chan, an assistant manager and magic user in training, highlighting the social and role-playing aspects of Phantasy Star Online. This Reader Submission Corner features interactions with Robo, a self-proclaimed star editor. Readers from various prefectures discuss topics ranging from trends in anime to arcade games and New Year's cards. Robo responds to questions and offers advice, showing a varied range of interests. He agrees with a reader about anime's appeal and is also a gamer. One reader seeks arcade game advice, and Robo suggests focusing on dodging. Other submissions include discussions about Dreamcast decorations and family photos. The section concludes with reader illustrations, including Gundam, PSO, and a musical notation piece. Dori Hero Weekly lists game releases, events, and birthdays for the week. This page, titled Drama King Art Club, showcases reader-submitted artwork inspired by various games. Featured games include 100 Swords, Gigawing 2, Guilty Gear X, and Gunpike. Eternal Arcadia, known internationally as Skies of Arcadia, is also highlighted with character art and a comment praising its cast. Another section named Cinemas recommends movies, mentioning The Weight of Water and Come and See as films that explore life and thought-provoking themes. Finally, a ranking chart lists popular movies, topping with Dancer in the Dark and Battle Royale, followed by films like Vertical Limit, 13 Days, Dinosaur, The Chaser, Sixth Day, How High, Red Planet, and Initial D Third Stage. This Dream Magazine Art Club page showcases reader artwork, including a robot character, Sakura Wars 3 art, and Jet Set Radio-inspired pieces. A depiction of the RGM-79 Gundam is also praised. The main article, Net Gamer is Netiquette Premise and Play, focuses on online gaming etiquette. Netiquette. It's Gatiquette. It explains that netiquette, similar to real-world social rules, is crucial in online games, especially in chat features. The article warns against using harsh language, highlighting the potential for virtual arguments to escalate into real-world conflicts and the impact of language on other players. It emphasizes the importance of considering how words are perceived and encourages players to be considerate, while also mentioning the increasing popularity of indie game shops. This page in Dream Magazine Garden, titled Subo, features reader submissions on the theme of Subo, or personal preferences in games. Readers share their thoughts on what aspects of games appeal to them, with some expressing interest in character archetypes like glasses girls and young boys. There's discussion on how these preferences might relate to parent-child dynamics and broader human nature. The editorial department IT Revolution section discusses trends and predictions. It touches upon the popularity of online interactions and mentions Hiki, which may refer to online isolation. Predictions for half a year later include insects like mosquitoes and cicadas being popular. Readers chime in with comments about the delayed release of Shenmue and the song authoritative, discussing its repetitive nature and the search for its correct pattern. The Today's Neo-Romance corner explores the concept of neo-romance games, questioning what defines this genre, possibly targeting female players interested in romance and male-focused games. Finally, the Book Me section introduces 3 recommended books. Game Maestro Volume 1 Interview Genre is the first in a series focusing on interviews with creators of TV and arcade games, starting from the era of Space Invaders and featuring producers and directors. Game Maestro Volume 2 Interview Genre continues this theme, focusing on producers and directors involved in later generations of TV games and genres like RPGs and shooting games. The last book reviewed is The Cathedral and the Bazaar, Essay Genre, a book on free software and Linux, described as stimulating and insightful for understanding the world. Dreamcast Magazine's upcoming content focuses on reader interaction. Planned features for February issues include reader-submitted game ideas, quizzes, recommendation corners, and a theme suggestion section. Material. A questionnaire postcard is included for feedback. The postcard question box clarifies submission deadlines. General submissions need a 2-week lead time, while themed content requires earlier submissions. Editorial Department's Word responds to reader comments on trends, content requests, e.g., Battle by Star, and submissions, e.g., illustrations. The magazine introduces Half Panda Jacking Volume 00, a character-focused segment featuring illustrations and descriptions of Half Panda, Mom Beast, and Pandapa. The Overflowing Information section notes a collaboration and highlights the character's design. This page is a collection of humorous reader submissions under the title, "This Kind of Thing Is Not Good." Readers complain about various pet peeves related to Dreamcast and gaming culture, such as the console's air vents smelling, Dreamcast trivia quizzes being uninteresting if you missed early games, controller button combinations being uncomfortable, and difficulties filming Mo characters in the office. Other complaints include overly techie gamers, disliked Sega game elements like forced difficulty and marketing focus, bad gameplay in Eco the Dolphin, strange requests for radio programs like disappearing cassette messages and fortune tellers, and the aging fanbase panicking over idol group changes. The page also features a Dream Manga section, with short, humorous reader-submitted comics and text snippets. These include jokes about children's strange phrases, keyboard layouts, masked wrestlers' dialogue, and voice actor personas. Lastly, the page includes a CD release section, reviewing new music. TM Revolution's Boarding single is out February 7th, and described as a danceable track for a TV anime. Noriyuki Makihara's Graduation single, also out February 7th, is a ballad with emotional graduation-themed lyrics. Aikawa Nanase's No Future single is a cutting-edge song with a future-oriented sound. And AJICO's Deep Green album, released on February 7th, is a rock album showcasing a diverse musical world. This page features a fans section dedicated to Shenmue, titled Shenmue Final Chapter, showcasing humorous reader submissions and comics. One panel discusses the Shenmue 2 title logo design being decided and asks if SUNN represents Shenmue 2. Another section features character relationship diagrams, asking, "Are you dating?" The reader submissions span different chapters and locations, including Hokkaido Unroyal, Chapter 13, Chapter 86, Hiroshima Prefecture 30 yen, and Chiba Prefecture, British Soldier. Jokes include a character being told to go to hell, and a reference to 8-bit graphics. The page also includes a column titled Tomoe Sakurai's Cooking Class, featuring voice actress Tomoe Sakurai discussing her recent cooking experiences and recipes. She talks about struggling with cooking despite it seeming simple, especially with curry rice, and seeking cooking advice. She shares a simple recipe suggestion using salt and handashi seasoning. Her profile box details her birth date as September 10th, her prefecture of origin as Chiba, her debut as a singer, stage actress, voice actress, and her current regular appearance on the Mariv Magical Passage radio program on BAYFM every Wednesday from 12 o'clock to 1600. The Today's Rumor section features reader submissions related to cooking, expanding on the cooking theme of Sakurai's column, discussing culinary experiences and recipes, and linking to Sakurai's advice. This page presents the Dorimaga Detective Gentleman Corner, showcasing reader submissions. There are humorous images featuring Mint, including one where Mint is asked if their hat is removable, another depicting a real Mint in a street scene, and a third showing a character wielding a sword while wearing a miniskirt. The Fool or Foolish Saying section highlights funny reader submissions. One submission from Shizuoka Prefecture jokes about a name becoming a death word. Another from Osaka mentions always going to game centers in good clothes. A submission from Kanagawa Prefecture criticizes someone's fashion sense in game machine design. Finally, Tokyo Prefecture submission talks about a strange smell on clothes. In the Unconfirmed Information Bureau, there's news that Shenmue 2 genre has changed from free to Frin, which is described as unreliable. It also mentions a warning message in Shenmue 2 advising players not to discuss the game's ending. Additionally, the official title for Guilty Gear Petit is revealed as Guilty Gear Jukshu. Finally, Mankus TT is reported to be making a comeback as Tag Tournament. Instead, the page also features a point ranking of readers who have contributed, along with details about the submission rules for the magazine and the address for sending in postcards. This page is the Game Industry This Week's News Headline section. Headline 5. DC's Future? Discusses Sega's decision to halt Dreamcast production after January 24th. It mentions the impact on software development, suggesting that while hardware sales might cease, software development will continue. It speculates about the future of Dreamcast, and even hints at the possibility of the Yakuza series potentially appearing on the Dreamcast, though it also notes that the focus will shift to software. Headline 4. Business Strategy delves into Sega's business approaches, highlighting the importance of DC's online capabilities through Sega.com and SegaNet. It touches on partnerships and strategies related to online gaming and services for the Dreamcast. Headline 3. SF Movies World Realization seems to be about the advancement of technology and how science fiction movie concepts are becoming reality. Headline 2. Hardcore Horse Race of Sega's Executive is a somewhat cryptic headline possibly about the business world and strategies of Sega executives, using horse racing as a metaphor. Headline 1. Square Heaven apologizing to Nintendo? Discusses a potential apology from Square to Nintendo. This likely relates to business relationships and game releases, implying a possible shift in strategy or reconciliation between the two companies. Vandred, a new anime series, debuted in January 2001, following its initial broadcast on WWW. The story centers on a conflict between genders separated into planets, and follows Hibiki Tokai, Dita Liebel, and Meia Gisborne as they encounter each other. The anime features mecha action, beautiful female characters, and the emotional complexities of young people experiencing the opposite sex. The first volume of the anime was released on video and DVD, including episodes and bonus content. The Vandred vocal and original soundtrack CD, featuring the opening and ending themes and other tracks, was also advertised. An official website offered details about the anime. Additionally, there was information about a 21st Century anime song Big Assembly event. Finally, the broadcast schedule, including dates on various TV channels, was listed. This page details various anime DVD and video releases and TV broadcasts. DVD releases include Love Hina Process 7, Strange Dawn Phase .5, Ojamajo Doremi #DVD Collection Volume 2, Ayashi no Series Volume 5, Masharambo Volume 6, Hoshi no Manshu Volume 06, Time Bokan 2000, Kaitu Kiramekiman Volume 5, Meteorot Volume 15, Uchu no Kishi Tekeman Blade DVD BOX, and TMS Collection, Ashita no Jo 2 DVD BOX 2. Notable titles include Tekeman Blade and Tomorrow's Jo 2 box sets. TV broadcasts feature Saint Seiya, Knights of the Zodiac, on Kids Station, and Boys B on Family Gekijo. Saint Seiya is a classic action anime, while Boys B is a youth romance series. This page is a manga strip titled Samsung Yoshimatsu Theater, Sega Stock Stop Commemorative Manga Final Episode Flavor, playing on the idea of a dramatic final episode, but humorously denying it's actually the end. The strip humorously addresses the potential shift of Sega moving away from hardware and becoming a software provider for other consoles. Character 32 dramatically reacts to this idea, initially misunderstanding it as related to Captain Tsubasa, a popular soccer manga. He questions why Sega, a hardware company, would consider this, fearing Sega will no longer be a hardware manufacturer if they focus on software for other platforms. The character expresses dismay, saying it's tougher than Dead or Alive 2 on Dreamcast, and mentions Game Gear and possibly Atlas Mechabox in distress, suggesting a history tied to Sega hardware. The strip concludes with the ironic statement, "Sega's games are the best in the world," and a character saying "no problem / I'm okay," despite the earlier drama, highlighting the ongoing quality of Sega's games even if hardware focus shifts. This page features 2 manga strips. The first strip, titled Long-Winded Man, by Kadoya Akifusa, depicts an office conversation. It starts on January 7th, at a New Year's party, where character Y mentions they saw the Yukun cut of work material, and asks if work is going well. The conversation continues with talk of future work plans and a break next year. The second manga strip, DC Fan Zone by Tokumitsu Yasuyuki, humorously showcases the Dreamcast. It highlights the 21st Century Type 600, with a visual of the console, and the claim that 21 controllers can be connected. Another panel shows simultaneous play by 21 people, with a crowd of gamers intensely reacting to a game on screen, labeled as real, and noting the too realistic reaction. The final panel is captioned, "Ugly to look at," likely referring to the intense reactions of the gamers. Below these manga strips are profiles of the artists. Tokumitsu Yasuyuki is described as the creator of Mandarake Revenge comics, and known for Professional Wrestling Fan Story. Kadoya Akifusa is noted for character design in works like Underclassmen and Refrain Blue, and is described as having a cute character design style that is popular. This page features an interview with musician Katsuno Yuko, described as a new singing talent. The interview promotes her album, Hachi no Su no Rakuen, or Beehive Paradise. Hatshu. Katsuno discusses her music, describing it as expressing everyday emotions and scenes, and mentions her influences, which include 70s folk music, Sly and the Family Stone, and Parliament. She describes her music as being for people who feel lost and anxious, and talks about the album concept and her approach to songwriting, which connects to visual imagery, like film. Her profile details her career, starting in 2000, with her debut single, Kakushigoto, and her album release. This page is advertising strategy guides for 2 games. The first is for Moero Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice. This guide is a perfect guide to help you with your Justice Gakuen life, offering character data, edit character analysis, advice for secret dialogues, and reveals all hidden elements. It is scheduled for release in late February. The second advertisement is for the Guilty Gear X Official Guide Dreamcast Edition. This guide is advertised as a complete capture book that thoroughly explores the essence of Guilty Gear X. It covers everything from character basics and special moves to detailed strategies for both CPU and player battles, even including advanced techniques for expert players. It's also scheduled for release in late February. This page presents an advertisement for a reader questionnaire in Dreamcast Magazine. It provides instructions on how to fill out the included postcard correctly, with examples of good and bad answer formatting. The questionnaire itself covers various reader demographics, like gender, age, occupation, and reading habits, specifically focusing on magazines they read. It also asks about Dreamcast ownership, both hardware and software they currently own and plan to buy. The survey delves into reasons why readers might not be buying games, and seeks feedback on the current issue's articles and cover design. To assist readers, there are lists of Dreamcast hardware and software titles provided, acting as reference points for their answers, and showcasing the breadth of the Dreamcast ecosystem at the time. Some games mentioned in the software list include well-known titles like Outrigger, Crazy Taxi 2, Shenmue 2, Space Channel 5, Dynamite Golf, Metropolis Street Racer, and Project Justice. This page is an advertisement for SoftBank's range of game strategy guides. It lists a number of books available for purchase, including guides for games on various platforms. Dreamcast titles featured include strategy guides for Melty Lancer, Phantasy Star Online, Sakura Wars related to Let's Make a J-League Soccer Club, and Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore. There is also a guide for Digimon Adventure 02, Diablomon Strikes Back for WonderSwan Color, and Super Robot Wars Compact 2. Chapter 3, Galaxy War, also for WonderSwan, alongside a visual fanbook for the Japan-only PC game Toraware No Heart. The advert also mentions that these strategy books can now be purchased online through SoftBank Books website. DC Licensee vs. Dorimaga Fierce Battle is a competition between the DC licensee team and the Dorimaga team, featuring 6 masked, Holy Warrior members called Masquerade. 4 new characters are introduced: Ishipan, Jo Ito, Pion, and Umadosu. Also competing are Masquerade No. 1 and Masquerade No. 3 from the Samba team. The competition involves various games with rock, paper, scissors, and other challenges. The losing team must seed a page in Dreamcast Magazine. The winning team gifts presents to readers. The competition takes place in the Skyscraper is Paradise Color high-rise building, featuring the Sega Direct team against the Samba team, playing Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast. The Sega Direct team has already won 2 rounds. Prizes like a Jet Set Radio bandana and a Power Smash QUO card are being offered to readers. This page highlights Round 17 of the ongoing Banpresto vs Samba team competition, a segment of the DC licensee versus Dorimaga Fierce Battle. It depicts scenes from the competition, including a business card exchange between team members emphasizing adult social etiquette, a creation or idea session with a typical office atmosphere, and the departure of the Banpresto team. The page also promotes Banpresto prizes that can be won at game centers and amusement facilities, primarily featuring items from the Super Robot Wars series. Other prizes include a Space Adventure Cobra DX figure based on Space Adventure Cobra, Gundam keyholders, Heavy Metal L Game diecast figures from Heavy Metal L Game, a Lupin III running piggy bank from Lupin III, and a Can-Do Gontakun plush toy based on the NHK children's program Can-Do. Additionally, a special Present 3 Names campaign features a Banpresto set containing a Super Robot Wars strap, a plastic model, and a Superhero Operations t-shirt as prizes. This page is showcasing Round 18 of the Abel vs. Ilishiban competition within the Dreamcast magazine. The game being played is the Iron Orb, where players are using specialized controllers. The article jokes about Ilishiban's height of 190 centimeters and highlights gameplay strategies involving taunting and disrupting the opponent's concentration. There's also a section titled New Client Illustrator Abel Works, featuring an anime-style illustration of a girl with pink hair ribbons, presented as a sample illustration for a client. Finally, the page promotes the Detective Saburo Dash original soundtrack and a poster as a special gift. The soundtrack features 38 tracks used in the game, and the poster utilizes package art and in-game illustrations to capture the game's essence. It's advertised as a way to relive memories of playing Detective Saburo Dash. There are 3 of these posters being given away as prizes. The next page features Round 19 of the Dreamcast Magazine vs. Jo competition, this time playing Magical Drop and Magical Drop 2i on PlayStation. It seems Jo, from the editorial department, was initially confident in Magical Drop, but lost to Datum Polystar's Noguchi in Magical Drop 3. This article then shifts to information about the game Roommate, specifically the upcoming Roommate M series. It highlights that new telecards featuring Ryoko and Happy Lesson will be available at the Tokyo Game Show. There will be goods on sale at the Tokyo Game Show related to Happy Lesson as well. Finally, there's an advertisement for a large Ryoko Inoue poster being given away as a present to 5 lucky readers. Additionally, signed copies of the Roommate M novel, signed by both the author and character designer, are also being offered as presents to 2 readers. The page also promotes official homepages for Ryoko's Room and Marufuji. This page announces Bomberman for DC is on sale now. It's round 20 of a competition where Pion from the Dreamcast Magazine editorial team challenged and defeated Hudson in Bomberman. The challenge took place because Bomberman was released on Dreamcast. Despite using a Dreamcast controller, the PlayStation version of Bomberman was used for the challenge. The page also highlights Grandia Parallel Trippers for Game Boy Color, stating even if you own a Game Boy, you can still enjoy it. It emphasizes the card battle system and card synthesis as key features of this Game Boy Color Grandia title. There is also a present offer for 5 readers to win Grandia Parallel Trippers. This page is round 21 of the Dreamcast Magazine's final battle, pitting Game Village against Uma no Suke from the Dreamcast Magazine editorial team in a heated competition, apparently using Capcom vs. SNK, Millennium Fight 2000. There are 2 prize giveaways on this page: Eve Zero for PlayStation for 2 winners, and Making of Eve Zero for PC for 5 winners. It also advertises Eve Zero Complete Edition for Dreamcast, noting its release date as March 22nd from Game Village. The bottom section, titled As Long as Reader Presents Exist, we will continue to live in your hearts. Seems to be related to reader participation and presence, showing photos of readers with humorous nicknames and masks, labeled as the Samba team, and other participants. This page is an overseas Dreamcast situation report, focusing on the game San Francisco Rush 2049. It highlights that this Dreamcast version is a major renewal from the arcade version, and should appeal to Japanese players familiar with arcade racing games. The page emphasizes the game's driving experience, stating it brilliantly fuses real and game aspects. It mentions that while overseas racing games are often about realistic driving simulations, San Francisco Rush 2049 blends physics-based simulation with enjoyable, exaggerated car movements. It notes the courses are not direct ports of the arcade version, but are entirely original to the Dreamcast, which should be considered a positive point. Screenshots showcase the game's action-packed racing, jumps, and futuristic city environments. The article mentions that the exhilarating jumps are arcade-like and offer a unique feeling not found in typical Japanese racing games. It also points out the unexpected course designs and emphasizes the action-oriented nature of the gameplay. The page highlights that 4-player simultaneous play is possible on the Dreamcast version. Unlike the arcade version, all game modes, including battle mode, support up to 4 players, allowing for intense human versus human competition. The screenshot shown is from a 4-player race. The article concludes that San Francisco Rush 2049 provides an American taste of racing that Japanese players should find refreshing, emphasizing its unique qualities and high quality. ADDRENARINE is a racing game offering 3 gameplay styles: race, stunt, and battle. Race mode focuses on traditional racing with an emphasis on discovering shortcuts. Stunt mode involves performing tricks for points, with successful landings crucial. Battle mode is a multiplayer car combat experience, utilizing weapons like machine guns and rockets, and incorporating strategic use of varied terrains. The game features 13 playable cars, customization options, and ghost data functionality for online racing against other players' records. An editor's comment praises the game's extreme and wild nature, particularly highlighting the enjoyment of the stunt mode. This page is an advertisement for 2 guidebooks for Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast. The first, titled Phantasy Star Online Perfect Guide, is promoted as the strongest volume for all hunters, packed with valuable data and materials. This guide promises complete coverage of character creation, thorough strategies for all areas by profession, numerous Hunter Guild quest guides, a detailed item list including special weapons, and exclusive developer interviews. It is a 272-page full-color, a 5-book, priced at 1,800 yen plus tax. The second guidebook, Phantasy Star Online Navigation Guide, is presented as the starting point for exploring Planet Regal. This guide focuses on essential strategy information, covering character creation to network connection in detail. It offers useful information and techniques for both online and offline play, thorough guidance for the early game and basic training methods, and comprehensive data on weapons, items, and enemies, along with detailed technique explanations. This is a 112-page full-color, a 5-book, priced at 1,200 yen plus tax. Both guides are advertised as currently on sale with positive reviews. This page showcases game previews, headlined by Nepachi 6th at VPACHI, Crossing Treasure Hunter Squad. This Dreamcast title from Daikoku Electric is slated for release on February 15th and priced at 4,800 yen, 240 points, and is described as the latest in the Nepachi series and a successor to CR Monster House. It emphasizes scroll reach as a new feature, enhancing the CR Monster House experience, with expectations raised for Gold Rush and Underground Kingdom Reach special actions. A special package set including a Dreamcast console, VM, and network access is also highlighted. The page also acts as a mini-index to other game previews in the magazine. These include El Dorado Gate Volume 3, Phantasy Star Online, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, Boku Doraemon, Golf Shioyo 2, Aratanaru Chosen, Let's Play Golf 2, A New Challenge, Fighting Vipers 2, Giga Wing 2, Sakatsuku Tokudaigu, Let's Make a J-League Pro Soccer Club, Special Edition, Guilty Gear X, Moero, Justice Gakuen, Burn, Justice High, and Never 7, The End of Infinity. This page is all about Aero Dancing Eye, emphasizing its internet battle mode as the main draw. The I in the title stands for Internet. The game offers smooth online play with minimal lag, similar to playing locally, and supports up to 4 players for simultaneous battles, greatly expanding gameplay possibilities. The page highlights the compatibility with broadband adapters for an enhanced online experience using cable TV networks, promising faster and more comfortable online play compared to dial-up connections, with a disclaimer that performance may vary depending on the provider and network environment. The page also showcases the Tornado IDS aircraft, described as a multi-purpose combat aircraft jointly developed by Italy, West Germany, and the UK, designed for high performance and stability. There's a machine data section detailing the specifications for both the Tornado IDS and another similar aircraft. The screenshots showcase in-game action with missile lock-on sequences. This guide details online battles in Aerodancing 1. Players connect to either quick lobbies, 2-player, no chat, or communication lobbies, 2 to 4 players, chat enabled. Communication lobbies are preferred for rule discussions before matches. The Dreamcast keyboard is highly recommended for effective chat. Within lobbies, players set battle formats and rules. Formats include one-on-one, battle royal, and team battle, while rules are quick, standard, and gamble. Quick battles feature respawning until time runs out or an opponent is defeated. Real-time chat is vital, especially in co-pilot mode, enhancing strategy and coordination, and adding a new dimension to the online experience. This page is an interview with the development staff at CRI about Aerodancing is, discussing how user feedback from the previous game, Aerodancing F, heavily influenced the game's development. The main focus was adding ground attack capabilities, a highly requested feature. Developer Koji Furukan explains that while Aerodancing Furry focused on dogfights, ground attacks were always planned as a development goal, and user feedback pushed its inclusion in I. Makoto Izumi mentions that veteran pilot Fujiwara provided supervision and input on the new missile systems and ground attacks. The interview highlights the new radar-guided missiles, a departure from infrared missiles, and the addition of countermeasures like chaff and flares, which were not present in F. While close-range dogfights remain a core element, Aerodancing it expands gameplay by allowing missile attacks from head-on and offering more strategic depth. For players seeking a purist experience, gun-only combat is also an option. The game also broadens its aircraft selection to include not just Japanese and American planes, but also international favorites like the Su-27 and AV-8 Harrier. Screenshots show in-game combat with HUD elements and a replay feature that displays flight paths and battle information requested by users. Aerodancing it features enhanced online multiplayer, supporting 4-player battles with team-based rule sets that evolve beyond the previous game's Battle Royale. A chat function enhances the experience, with a reminder to observe online etiquette. New aircraft like the Harrier and Flanker are included, modeled through extensive research. The game emphasizes the series' core concept of enjoying flight, with non-combat aircraft available in a free flight mode. Online battles in I incorporate team setups and a points system for more complex gameplay. The developers suggest game modes like defense and attack scenarios, and recommend the Harrier for its unique handling and replay animations. To celebrate the release, Aero I release commemorative events are planned, including the National Dogfight Championship, 2001 Cable Tournament, and Mission Strategy Operations events across various Japanese cities. Details are available on the CRI webpage. This page introduces the visual novel game, Roommate Inoue Ryoko. It highlights the game's origin as a visual novel series on Sega Saturn. The game focuses on the character Inoue Ryoko and explores her personality in depth. Event visuals are showcased, revealing scenes from the game. The character file details Inoue Ryoko's background. She lived in New York due to her father's job, but returned to Japan to attend high school. She's described as serious and diligent, with hobbies including reading, tennis, and gardening. The setting of the game is Ryoko's home, a large and stylish house where the protagonist comes to live as a roommate. This reverses the usual roommate scenario where the heroine visits the protagonist's home. The duration of their living together is stated to be several months. The game genre is ADV, adventure/visual novel, and it's being developed by Datum Polystar. The planned release is spring, priced at 6,800 yen, 360 points. The completion rate is at 47%. The developer mentions that voice actress Tomoko Fujino, who plays Inoue Ryoko, visited and provided an autograph. The game Roommate Inoue Ryoko focuses on the protagonist's unexpected cohabitation with Ryoko while preparing for university exams. The story will explore the challenges and opportunities presented by their living arrangement. Another character, Rii, Ryoko's childhood friend, is introduced as a supportive and caring classmate who often advises Ryoko and gets along with the protagonist. Gameplay will feature scenarios like cooking together and emotional moments with Ryoko. The game also hints at everyday interactions, such as reading the newspaper. Furthermore, a Kimi no Idea Game Chew project invites players to submit episode ideas and questions for Ryoko, with selected contributors earning in-game credit and a special gift. Submissions are due by February 23rd. The next page showcases Happy Lesson, a Dreamcast adventure novel game. It introduces the pink-haired heroine, Minazuki, voiced by Nana Mizuki. Her profile details reveal she is from Tokyo, born on June 6, blood type O, 145 centimeters tall, with bust-waist-hip measurements of 724,570, and a third-year student. The game's story centers on Minazuki, who lost her parents and views the protagonist, her dorm roommate, as a kind older brother figure. She declares her intention to become his bride, causing chaos for teachers as she passionately pursues him. Happy Lesson is 80% complete and scheduled for release on April 26th, priced at 6,800 yen. It's described as a humorous and emotional story, focusing on the protagonist's life after 5 teachers suddenly declare themselves his mamas. The game explores whether his life will be peaceful or thrilling as he navigates this unusual situation, promising excitement either way. The page also highlights daily life scenarios, suggesting the drama unfolds from these everyday moments with his mama teachers and childhood friends. Another character, the committee chairman Nanakorobi Fumizuki, is also introduced. This page is all about the 5 mama teachers from Happy Lesson. First up is Mutusuki Mama, highlighted for a cafe date scenario, suggesting a stylish date setting. Next, Kisaragi Mama is shown in a study setting, hinting at study sessions in her room, possibly with some distractions. Mizuki Mama is featured in a cosplay nurse outfit, emphasized as a costume. There's also a mention of Uzuki Mama receiving stuffed animals from a UFO catcher game, showing her delight with these presents. Mutusuki Mama is further described welcoming the protagonist home in a maid outfit, reinforcing the teacher mama and home life blend, with nurse and maid outfits being key elements. Satsuki Mama is shown enjoying a race game, portrayed as very competitive and enthusiastic about winning. Finally, Yayoi Mama is depicted looking up at a large tree in a park, with a hint of deeper thoughts or visions as she gazes at the sky. This guide for Eldorado Gate Volume 3, a Dreamcast RPG, provides strategic advice. Newcomers are advised to gather zeni and buy equipment in the Land of Fate, specifically magic crystals. Veterans can leverage powerful weapons and special events. The story begins with Kanan trapped in a cave near the flooded Venice town, requiring rescue and flood prevention. The guide details area-specific strategies. Treva Cave needs eastward exploration and tree attribute weapons. Venice town requires divided teams and prepared equipment. Magi Forest is for magician training, recommending Rakava. Returning players should acquire the rusting bow from Volume 1. Combat tactics are emphasized, with each character's role defined. Grastran from Volume 2 reappears as a common enemy. Mad Longo and Dizolg are valuable for item farming. Key items like gold knife, card, and lighten can be obtained in specific areas. This Eldorado Gate Volume 3 guide details strategies for various locations. In Colonel Village, recruit panel by defeating Golar. Woirai Mountain requires panel to move rocks and find items. Meiji Forest reveals new routes after defeating a martial artist. Search for Chariot and Orgas Stone. Returning to Colonel Village, bring Panel's egg to Galabo. Sango Island yields the Purple Pearl after defeating Lady Dia in consecutive battles. But Venice Town involves mediating at the Pump Tower with a wife and Darren Kabul. Treva Cave requires reaching the end of Kanan's trial and defeating Gigant Mist. Back in Venice Town, defeat Kelby at the Pump Tower with Kanan, Gomes, and Elisen. The Land of Fate focuses on gathering 50 light items for the Sound Crystal Orb. The guide also provides enemy analysis. Redburn is a fire enemy, Wild Swing is a tree enemy, Gorgon inflicts paralysis, Gigant Mist is weak to darkness, Chronolive absorbs water attacks, and Kelby is a water boss vulnerable to focused attacks on its main body. This page is a guide for Eldorado Gate Episode 8, titled Memory Camera. It outlines the area map, story, recommended party formation, and walkthroughs for key locations. The story focuses on Pamela regaining her lost memories, with Radia tasked with helping her. For party formation, a balanced approach with Kissbalt and magic users is advised for Episode 8. The guide then details various locations. In Toll Village, players should gather information from Thomas at the dojo and consider purchasing Rikabon for its revival effects. Allied Wildfield is central to Episode 8, containing the entrance to the Barrow Gang's hideout and routes to Venice-town. At the hideout, the main objective is to find a dog and recruit Thomas as a party member for Episode 8. In Venice-town, the focus shifts to finding a Drinchan doll and initiating the Warashi Baby event. Mashimo's Research Institute requires players to find a switch to progress. Sango Island is where Pamela's memory events unfold, requiring 2 Drinchan dolls to access, and offering the Ice Sword item. The Tatan Dojo involves fighting bosses on each floor, with the Drinchan doll needed to enter. Enemy analysis is also provided. Red Rage, Fire, is vulnerable to magic jewels, while Unknown Fire, Light, drops Warrior Headband and Light. Barrow Gang members, Fire, drop Anger Headband and Heat Gun. Now, the boss, Drinchan doll, Light, heals each turn and uses Sleep and Purification magic, requiring sustained damage to defeat. Eldorado Gate Episode 12 features producer Takaya Kiyama discussing the removal of Kanan's mask, explaining the story's focus on pursuing the man who forced it upon her. Initially, they considered a second playable female character, but prioritized refining Kanan's character, believing removing the mask would enhance her appeal. The page also highlights fan content and a player's party composition. Furthermore, Download Gate News announces the Oniwasoto sets Setsubun sale for the Episode 3 release. This 4th download includes Setsubun-themed accessories with light attributes. Finally, the page delves into Kanan's backstory as a thief who embraces the mask's curse to atone for her past and protect her friends. She is determined to regain her smile through her own strength, not the mask's power. The next page is dedicated to Phantasy Star Online. It announces the start of online quest distribution and download quests. The page details the online quests, which include Suppression Operation Number 1, Suppression Operation Number 2, Dreamlike 1, and Dreamlike 2, all set in exploration areas such as Forest 1, Cave 1, Forest, and Cave 1 and 2. It highlights that suppression operations are timed quests requiring players to defeat all enemies within the area. Screenshots showcase gameplay in these environments. Regarding download quests, it mentions Lionel's Mail and a generic download quest, both set in forest and cave areas. Lionel's Mail involves finding and collecting Lionel's body parts scattered across 5 locations, and talking to Lionel's head using the quest board to get hints. The page also provides hints on how to reach the Raggle Sleeping Ruins quest area. It explains that after clearing the mines, players need to revisit 3 monuments in Forest Area 2 and Cave Area 2, which will open the path to the ruins located at the deepest part of the mine. Operating the pillars in the forest and cave areas is key to progressing to the ruins. This page continues the Phantasy Star Online coverage and focuses on utilizing the Photon Blast effectively, especially for lower-level characters. It highlights a technique to share Photon Blast energy in online mode. If a player uses Photon Blast and another player presses the Y button, the Photon Blast energy will be shared. However, the amount distributed may be small. The page introduces Party Attack as a technique to use Photon Blast more effectively. This involves using the item Star Atomizer and registering it to the R trigger palette too. To execute a party attack, you use a heavy attack on an enemy, and just before it hits, pull the R trigger. This will target allies. But the text clarifies that this does not damage allies. Instead, it is a technique to support them. The page provides a tip about using the RT trigger palette to avoid unnecessary combat. By removing attack commands from the R trigger palette, players can run near enemies with the R trigger held down without entering battle stance, which is useful for navigating through areas swiftly. It cautions against overuse of party attacks, as it may annoy other players if not used considerately, and suggests seeking agreement before using it. Drikyu 6 Item Hunter is a new hide-and-seek mode in Phantasy Star Online. One player is the criminal, tasked with hiding in an exploration zone, while others are hunters. After clearing an area of enemies, the criminal hides. and the hunters begin their search after a signal. Hunters can use a special command, L+R triggers, and up on controller B, to view the game from another player's perspective, aiding in locating the criminal. The area map is also a useful tool. Game variations include a one-hit kill rule and a telepipe escape for the criminal. A higher difficulty setting, the criminal viewpoint ban rule, removes the ability to use the criminal's viewpoint. The core gameplay loop involves clearing an area, the criminal hiding, hunters searching, and using the criminal's perspective to find them. This page is the second installment from Dream Maga investigation team providing countermeasures against disconnections in Phantasy Star Online. It advises players to disconnect and reconnect if they notice in-game lag like slow message displays or delayed item pickups. The page illustrates how to properly end the game and reconnect to avoid unstable connections and potential issues during teleports, highlighting that teleportation can be risky due to possible interference. There's a showcase of player-created symbol chats within Phantasy Star Online, including some clever designs. In a discovery section, it's reported that Sonic Team is currently hard at work on the overseas version of Phantasy Star Online, based on an interview with designer Sakai-san, who mentioned wanting to play with everyone once the overseas version is complete. The page also features a PSO Dreamcast investigation team solves hunters' worries section for player questions and answers. Reader mail includes fan art submissions and an invitation for more illustrations and gameplay tips for Phantasy Star Online. An example illustration from Kumamoto Prefecture by RYUSEL featuring a white Hanyu Eru character is highlighted. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's focusing on stand-up fighting tactics, breaking down how to effectively attack opponents. Step 1 details how to break an opponent's guard. It explains that players can guard most strikes by holding the directional button in the opposite direction of the incoming attack. To overcome this, the guide suggests 3 approaches: confusing the guard direction by moving around the opponent, using guard breaking techniques, and countering when the opponent stops defending to attack. Step 2 is about exploiting openings when an opponent raises their hands to defend. The guide recommends repeatedly using a right punch, RPRP combo to bait the opponent into countering. Then, after showing this pattern, use right punch, left kick, RPRPLK combo with a slight pause, creating a lull to catch the opponent off guard for a counter hit. Step 3 discusses closing the distance and grappling when the opponent is hesitant to attack, suggesting they might be waiting for a takedown. The guide advises on proactively using striking techniques while moving forward to intercept an opponent's approach. It highlights the importance of using fighter-specific takedown moves that are difficult to predict when going for a grapple, emphasizing that simple takedowns might be too predictable. The guide mentions that these fighter-specific takedowns offer a lower risk of being countered and are significantly more effective than standard takedowns. This Dreamcast Magazine guide details unique grapple techniques for various fighters in the Ultimate Fighting Championship game. It provides a comprehensive list of each fighter's specialized moves, focusing on button combinations and directional inputs, such as LP plus LK, RP plus RK, and variations using Step S. The guide lists fighters like Team Lessig, Mark Coleman, Gary Goodridge, Jeremy Horn, and many others. Each entry outlines specific grapple techniques, including submissions and positional moves from mount and guard positions. Notation key includes RP equals right punch, LP equals left punch, RK equals right kick, LK equals left kick, S equals step, and plus indicating directional button presses. The article's primary objective is to help players understand and effectively utilize these grappling moves to enhance their in-game fighting strategies. This guide details 5 fighters in the UFC on Dreamcast, outlining their fighting styles and key moves. Bas Rutten, a kicking specialist, benefits from mid-range kick combinations and feints. Gary Goodridge, a heavy puncher, relies on powerful strikes but should avoid overusing punches due to slow guard recovery. Maurice Smith, a striking master, controls distance with low kicks to set up stand-up opportunities. Kevin Randleman, an acrobatic fighter, uses speed and diverse techniques, emphasizing RP and LK combinations. Eugene Jackson, with a powerful right hand, aims for knockouts with close-range punch and kick combinations, especially utilizing his strong left kick counter. Each fighter's strengths are highlighted, providing strategic insights for effective gameplay. This page continues the Dreamcast UFC Fighter Guide, featuring 6 more fighters and their combat strategies. Pedro Rizzo utilizes combinations effectively, focusing on mixing punches and kicks like LPRK, particularly when outside of guard range, to pressure opponents. Pete Williams excels in ground fighting, emphasizing reversals from bottom guard and employing ground and pound techniques. Ron Waterman is highlighted for his guard break pressure, using various guard break techniques and combinations like LPLKLK for consecutive hits. Tim Lajcik is described as having solid guard break tactics, effectively using LPLK and LPRPRK to exploit guard openings and maintain pressure. Evan Tanner is presented as a fighter who can use throws effectively, focusing on counters and utilizing speed to create openings, especially with LPLKLK combinations. Lastly, Mickey Burnett is showcased as a punch-focused fighter, emphasizing powerful punches and ground and pound in mount position, with combinations like RPRPLPRPLP to maintain pressure and secure mount opportunities. Level 07 of Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, Up and Down, features layered maps prone to player disorientation. This guide details navigation through these levels. Players should use map indicators to avoid getting lost between floors. The walkthrough includes these steps: weakening currents with rocks, collecting 5 crystals, and utilizing the stealth skill to manipulate a sea turtle and a ray. Extra stages can be accessed via Level 8. Level 8's B2F leads to passing from Genesis, Level 05, by activating light boxes with sonar. Level 8's 1F provides access to Pathway from Nowhere, Level 06, after collecting 5 crystals and passing through a ring. The 1F pond holds these crystals. This guide details strategies for 2 Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future levels, Roaring Forces, and Atlantis Lost. In Roaring Forces, Level 08, the player must escape electric eels by dashing through specific paths, A to C. Pressing 2 buttons at E and activating a glowing ball, F, are also critical steps. Echo needs to catch fish to transform, enabling him to move iron balls and advance. Atlantis Lost, Level 09, involves restoring a guardian. Players must interact with crystals, stop a reverse current by dropping a rock, and use sonar to destroy a gate. Collecting power stones at a shoal, F, is key. The final step is using acceleration rings to reach the cathedral's top, H, after activating a trigger, requiring the collection of 5 crystals. The next page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Doraemon, Me and the Robot's Fun Times, a title exclusive to Japan. This guide focuses on how to make the most of your Doraemon life in the game. It reveals secrets hidden within Nobita's house, encouraging players to thoroughly explore every room to find dorayaki snacks. The article details 3 methods of transportation around town: walking, using the take-copter, and the anywhere door. Walking consumes energy, while the take-copter is faster and the anywhere door is convenient for long distances, but has limited monthly uses. Energy management is crucial, as Doraemon will stop and rest if energy depletes. The guide also highlights a sound test mode, where you can listen to music from the game, including the Doraemon theme song and even Gian's theme. Finally, it presents a schedule of events across a game year, detailing item locations and character appearances during different months and weeks, such as Super Glove in Nobita's room during the first week of October, and Abekonde in Shizuka-chan's house in the second week of October. This page continues the strategy guide for Doraemon, Me and the Robot's Fun Times. It explains that scenarios in the game will present you with 3 choices of items, and even if you don't choose an item, it will still be recorded in your encyclopedia. The guide advises players to aim to complete the encyclopedia by actively trying out different choices. It also gives advice on how to recover Doraemon's energy in the game, stating there are 2 ways: putting him to sleep or having him help Mama with chores. Sleeping recovers energy, and dorayaki, while helping with chores, has a higher chance of recovering energy efficiently. The guide then details 2 minigames: weeding and cleaning the kitchen, showing screenshots and explaining how to play them, offering tips for success. Finally, the page announces a giveaway of Doraemon, Me and the Robot's Fun Times stickers to 10 lucky readers. It explains how to enter by sending in a postcard with your details and thoughts on Doraemon. This page is a guide focusing on clubs and balls for the Dreamcast game Golf Shiyuyo 2 Aratanaru Taisen. Let's Play Golf 2, New Challenge. It details how the combination of clubs, balls, and characters impacts gameplay. The page shows tables listing various W-wood and iron golf clubs, with details on their weight, material, loft angle, and GP cost within the game. It explains that the loft angle influences the ball's trajectory and distance, ranging from 20.0 to 56.0 degrees for irons, and similarly for woods, up to SW. The guide also mentions that by changing to cheaper balls, distance may vary, and recommends players consider ball bonuses as a strategy. It highlights that character data from the previous game can be downloaded via HP to be used in Golf Shiuyo 2, noting that official HP service is required and might be unavailable in the future. This page is a detailed character guide for Golf Shiuyo 2 Aratanaru Taisen, continuing the previous page's discussion on clubs and balls. It presents a thorough investigation into the best club and ball choices for each of the 20 playable golfers, including both default and returning characters. For each character, there is a profile image, name, and recommended set of wood, iron, and ball types, identified by number. Below each character, there are stats represented by numbers, which seem to indicate performance bonuses for different club types, ranging from 1 wood to sand wedge, SW. These numerical values likely represent additional distance in yards for each club when used by that specific character, compared to a default set. For example, Jurian Clement uses wood number 11, iron number 9, and ball number 13. Bobby Whitaker is shown with wood number 14, iron number 9, and ball number 10, and so on for all 20 characters featured. The guide aims to help players choose the most compatible equipment sets to maximize each character's golfing potential in Golf Shiuyo 2. This strategy guide for Fighting Vipers 2 focuses on throw escapes, declaring February Tournament Strengthening Month for throw mastery. The guide stresses the importance of learning character-specific throw escape commands to gain an advantage. Successfully escaping throws can lead to opportunities for counterattacks. Each character section details the necessary escape inputs. For example, Jane requires forward plus X plus Y plus A. Tokyo requires diagonal inputs. Others, like Charlie and Emi, emphasize back input, while Raxel requires down and forward. Honey favors down, back, and forward. Vicky relies on down, and Marler needs forward input. Aaron needs diagonal up, forward, and down. San Coleman uses back and forward, and Grace uses forward and back. The guide recommends practice using in-game screenshots. This page continues the Fighting Vipers 2 strategy guide, focusing on techniques after a successful tech guard, TG. It explains how to use TG offensively, detailing TG attack and TG escape maneuvers. TG attack is described as a reliable counterattack, especially effective when the opponent has low health and his armor broken. TG escape aims to reposition to the opponent's side for a side throw. The guide then covers responses to side throws, advising players to anticipate and counter throw using specific commands. It also discusses responses to guarding, suggesting smart throws, and exploiting guard breaks with command throws. The page introduces Super KO system, explaining it as a quick KO opportunity when armor is broken. It highlights using bound combos and TG escapes to set up SKOs, and emphasizes aiming for SKOs in the third set of a match for maximum impact. Characters like Jane and Bon are shown in screenshots demonstrating these strategies, showing example scenarios for offense and defense with TG and SKO. The guide advises to be cautious with SKO if you haven't won a round yet, as losing armor can lead to a disadvantageous situation. This page is a strategy guide for GigaWing 2, revealing hidden playable ships and strategies for the final boss. It introduces 5 secret ships. Reijin Kai, associated with the character Shinozuka Shinsuke, noted for its balanced shots and ease of use. Carmine Plus, Cherry's ship from the previous game, described as powerful and fast. Widerstand2 for Larko, a subshot-focused ship. Porchka Dash for Romy, with lower attack power but similar to Carmine Plus. And Neo Stranger for Remy, the strongest hidden ship, surpassing even Carmine Plus in power. The guide provides brief descriptions of each ship's characteristics and playstyle. Moving on to the final boss in Stage 7, named Remy. It describes the boss's attacks as incredibly intense and almost unavoidable at first glance, emphasizing the importance of understanding attack patterns and using reflectors effectively. Screenshots display gameplay with these hidden ships and the final boss fight. The page also shows a screenshot of the option menu, suggesting players adjust difficulty and player stock for a more manageable experience, especially for beginners. It concludes by listing the base scores for defeating the final boss, with 4,500,000 points for the first form and 6 million points for the second form. The next page in this Dreamcast Magazine strategy guide focuses on the Stage 6 boss in Giga Wing 2, called Arc. It breaks down the fight into two forms, showing the base points you get for destroying different parts of the boss in each form. The first form lists points for the body, sides, discs, and lenses, while the second form details points for the eye, arms, and various rings. A key point of strategy is to master two types of attacks. Use simpler evasions for easier attacks, and save your powerful reflectors for when things get tough. 10 numbered screenshots illustrate different attack patterns from Arc and give quick tips for each. These tips include reflecting attacks right at the start, focusing on destroying discs and lenses, moving in a clockwise direction, and taking advantage of gaps and bullet formations, like the 5-ring water bullet attack. It also mentions prioritizing blue bullets and red and blue bullet patterns, using reflectors with chain bullets for high damage, getting a feel for the attack rhythm, and using reflectors and Vulcan cannons to maximize damage and aim for scores exceeding 10 to the power of 16. This guide focuses on maximizing sponsor benefits in the Dreamcast game Saskatsuku J-League Pro Soccer Club Wotsukuru. Sponsors provide various advantages categorized as cost reduction, event triggers, hometown value increases, and faster injury recovery. The guide details a table outlining different sponsor types and their associated benefits. Examples include sponsors that lower construction costs for various facilities. Others trigger events like new facility construction and merchandise development. Some boost economic levels, club popularity, and hometown factors. Experiments show the impact of sponsor choices. Using a hollow circle pharmacy sponsor reduced player injury recovery time. A hollow circle construction sponsor demonstrably lowered facility upgrade expenses, resulting in significant cost savings. The guide emphasizes the importance of selecting sponsors strategically to aid specific club development goals. In Saskatsuku, sponsors can significantly increase in value. Don't dismiss initial low contract fees, as growth is possible, even in 2 stages. Examples like cinema production and Dianza Bank show substantial fee increases. Growth isn't guaranteed. Conditions like city population and seaside location are often required. Sponsor mergers also lead to increased contracts, such as the International General Trading Company. Specific sponsors come with contract conditions, like fielding top-ranked players or having a profitable annual income. Be aware that sponsors may introduce new, potentially difficult conditions after growth or mergers. Always review these carefully and maintain a financial buffer to avoid penalties. Prioritize sponsors whose conditions align with your club's capabilities. This page from Dreamcast Magazine delves into advanced combat techniques for the game Guilty Gear X. It focuses on mastering the high jump and utilizing double jumps to enhance offensive and defensive strategies within the game. The article breaks down the mechanics of jump cancels and how to integrate them into combos, particularly with rising special moves, demonstrating practical applications for players looking to improve their skills. It gives specific examples using characters like Chip and Venom, illustrating how jump cancels and Roman cancels can be used to extend combos and create unpredictable movement. Screenshots visually demonstrate these techniques in action. The page highlights that understanding these advanced jump mechanics is crucial for high-level play in Guilty Gear X. The game is described as an action title for 1 to 2 players, published by Sammy, and released on December 14, 2000, for 5,800 yen, with a first edition limited release that includes special edition media. This page promotes merchandise for the Guilty Gear Festival 2001 Spring, highlighting items available for purchase such as telecards featuring characters like Saul, May, and Dizzy, caps, straps, a music CD, limited edition Zippo lighters, metal posters, and etching stickers. It also includes a reminder about purchasing tickets for the approaching national tournament, and mentions a present campaign. Fan-submitted character artwork is showcased in sections like the GXG Gallery and This Week's Instant Hit, featuring illustrations of May, Sol, Milia, Baiken, and others, with contributions from various artists across different prefectures. This page is a strategy guide for the Dreamcast game Project Justice. It focuses on countering an opponent's ukemi, or recovery techniques, after being knocked down. The guide details different types of ukemi, such as standing recovery and back recovery, and explains how to anticipate and punish these actions. It shows examples of how to dash through a standing recovery, and how to use aerial guards to force an opponent to turn around, opening them up for attacks. The page emphasizes reading the opponent's Yukemi choices to gain an advantage and continue offensive pressure. This page continues the hot-blooded battle strategy guide for Project Justice. It focuses on character strategies for K-Daigo and Edge. For K-Daigo, the strategy emphasizes powerful single hits and combos. It highlights the hot-blooded combo and how it can be risky if blocked, but players can mix up strong and weak versions of the double uppercut move at the combo's end to make it harder for opponents to counter. The guide provides combo examples, including airburst and short airburst variations, and advanced combos using partner assists from Roy and Kyoko. For mid-range combat, it recommends starting with a crouching weak kick, followed by a strong double uppercut if it connects. As a partner, K is described as having slow normal attacks, making follow-ups difficult, but his long reach can be useful. For Edge, the strategy centers around his quick techniques, starting attacks with a weak punch. The guide details combo examples for Edge, initiated with weak punches, short air bursts, and powerful side attacks. As a partner, Edge excels due to his quick attacks, making him suitable for counterattack scenarios and enabling powerful counter-hit opportunities. The guide also explains how to use short air bursts to get behind opponents and secure back attacks. Finally, it describes a powerful side attack combo, starting with a down-back strong kick and following up with a down-back, down-forward, strong punch. The page includes gameplay screenshots illustrating these strategies and moves in Project Justice. This page continues the strategy guide, now focusing on the characters Akira and Hiro in Project Justice. For Akira, the strategy emphasizes utilizing a variety of combos to pressure opponents. The Breaking Heaven Barrage is highlighted as a key technique to overwhelm enemies by weaving in hot-blooded combos. It's advised to use combos starting with back plus weak punch and progressing to weak kick, and strong punch. As a partner, Kira excels when used in tandem attacks, especially for mid-air assaults. Akira's special moves are effective as anti-air and counter options. The quick strong punch is also noted as a potent move. Several full power combination techniques are listed, including variations using air bursts and short air bursts, alongside ground combos. Moving on to Hiro, the strategy revolves around jumping attacks and the Righteous Fist. It notes that Hiro is vulnerable in close quarters combat, so players should avoid direct confrontations. Hiro's strengths lie in his standard Righteous Fist and aerial Righteous Fist techniques. As a partner, Hiro is best suited for initiating attacks from a distance. The guide recommends using a crouching strong punch as an anti-air measure. Even if opponents manage to close in, strategies are provided to counter and maintain distance. Full power combination techniques are also detailed for Hiro, including airburst and short airburst combos, and ground combos using crouching strong punch and kicks. This page continues the Project Justice strategy guide, focusing on the character Kunosuke. Kunosuke's gameplay revolves around utilizing his Night Parade of 100 Demons technique, which is initiated with a weak punch. He excels at rushdown tactics and applying pressure through continuous combos. The guide emphasizes starting combos with a crouching weak punch, leading into variations involving weak kick, and strong punch. As a partner, Kunosuke is highlighted for his versatility and ability to perform strong follow-up attacks after Tajin. His special moves are described as effective for counterattacks and anti-air maneuvers. A quick strong punch is also noted as a valuable tool. The guide details several full power combination techniques for Kunosuke, including variations using air bursts and short air bursts, as well as ground combos. It also mentions a strategy involving Space Slash as an effective anti-air attack to counter jump-in attempts from opponents. Further sections discuss hit confirmation from medium range using a quick strong punch, and horizontal movement hit confirmation, suggesting strategies for hitting opponents while moving sideways and utilizing crouch punch. It also mentions root counter tactics, where Kunosuke's strong punch is effective as a counter move with excellent reach, especially against predictable opponents. The dark black shadow strike is presented as a powerful finishing move when a root counter is successful. This page is a strategy guide for Never 7: The End of Infinity. It details how to reach the grand finale and explore different scenarios within the game, specifically focusing on Izumi Kurei's scenario and Yukika's perspective scenario. To access Izumi's route, you need to meet certain conditions, including having 4 or more characters with high affinity, Izumi's affinity being at least 10, pairing Izumi for the liver test on day 3, and seeing Rhaenyra's report on day 4. The guide then shows a flowchart of decision points on days 4, 5, and 6 within Izumi's scenario. The page also introduces Yunuka's perspective scenario, emphasizing that affection levels don't matter much after the story's midpoint, and the focus is on Yunuka's viewpoint. A flowchart outlines choices and outcomes for days 4, 6, and 7 in Yuka's route. The guide highlights the append story, noting that downloadable scenarios are expanding the game's world. These scenarios can be purchased and downloaded, and the order they are played depends on whether you own 3 file keychains. Kid has provided scenarios as part of this downloadable content. Finally, there's a correction notice for a previous strategy article in Volume 2 from 2001. It clarifies that to approach Izumi on April 3rd, you need to clear with 4 or more players, not 3 as previously stated. This page is the Danger Zone corner, announcing that it's ending in 3 more installments. It seems to be a reader submission section for illustrations and text, and this time the focus is on Dead or Alive 2. The page showcases various reader submissions of illustrations and comments related to the game, with contributions from fans in Yamaguchi, Aichi, Tokyo, Shizuoka, and Nagano prefectures. There's a section for short, humorous stories, and the page also announces the winners of the Dead or Alive 2 Survival Score Attack Contest. It's mentioned that the next contest will be a Survival Score Attack Time Attack, and a screenshot displays the results from the Survival Score Attack Contest. This page is an Eternal Arcadia official fan page, focusing on the characters Gilder and Crone, specifically their encounters. The main headline is, "That Man is Blue Sky Bandit," which describes Gilder. The article talks about Gilder as a sky pirate, who embodies freedom and is pursued by many fans, especially women, and mentions Crone as someone who is also entangled with him. There are character profiles for Gilder and Crone. Gilder is 32 years old, born on July 20th, 192 cm tall, weighs 105 kilograms, and his hobby is gambling. He's good at talking to women, dislikes stubborn people, and his catchphrase is to do what he wants without being bound by anything. His ship is named Claudia. Crone is described as a young woman whose love is like a blue sky, who rides the wind, seeking love. The Sailor's Portrait section features fan submissions from readers in different prefectures like Kanagawa, Yamaguchi, Saitama, and Miyagi, showcasing illustrations of characters, including Gilder and other characters from Eternal Arcadia. Some reader comments are included, such as one comparing a character to Okinawan folk art, and another mentioning a character's hairstyle and attire being Japanese style. The game release information is also included, stating it's already on sale since October 5, 2000, priced at 6,800 yen for the standard edition, and 9,800 yen for the limited box. This page features the Soar Sky Adventurer section, which poses a question about the character Simon, who turns out to be a cute girl, asking readers to write a short story based on the illustration of Simon. The previous question was based on an illustration shown in a yellow box. There's an Eternal 4-frame theater comic strip about the Daigo brothers' nightmare, a humorous scenario of bald brothers getting annoyed by hair pulling. In the It's User's Voice section, players share their opinions about a game, praising its seamless polygon graphics, camera work, and engaging story. One player highlights the detailed character expressions, especially in scenes featuring the character Ayaka, and another mentions the beautiful sky and scenery in the game. The Sky Airspace section is described as being overworks, and it mentions a contest for super adventurers, asking for short story submissions, character popularity votes, and fan art. Prizes include rare goods, and 10 winners will receive presents. The page also mentions that readers should participate in Sky Airspace to receive super rare goods. This month's treasure is highlighted as game discs. The address for submissions to Dreamcast Magazine is also provided. This page of Dreamcast Magazine features Dori UMA news, focusing on the Dabituku horse racing game series, with the headline that Dabituku is eternally invincible. The article announces a new version, Bakumatsu Horse Racing Core 21st Century Ver, for the Dreamcast, promising a new era of explosive horse racing and encouraging players to look forward to it. It mentions Dreamcast Magazine and Dreamcast Spotlight websites for more information. There are sections detailing gameplay scenarios like Always Wild Run and To the New Century, describing exciting race moments and player experiences. Another section, Changed Odds, Explosive Horse Racing Tickets, talks about race odds and winning strategies, mentioning a successful race event with jockey Wada. WB Prediction Hits Too Much highlights the accuracy of web-based horse racing predictions from Dreamcast HP, particularly by Big Nakamura and Mia-chan, showcasing their successful predictions with graphs demonstrating significant profits. The page also announces the second Dori UMAC tournament by Wada Jockey, white paper released, and the Opera House Production Limited race, Aim for It, detailing the race conditions, dates, and prizes for these upcoming events in the Doriyuma C category and Opera House Production Limited race. Varying screenshots are included, showing in-game interfaces with horse stats and race details, along with pictures of players seemingly enjoying social gatherings and celebrating, and racetrack scenes. This page continues the horse racing theme, showcasing the 2000 JRA Awards and highlighting the Horse of the Year, TM Opera O. It features sections dedicated to different categories of award-winning horses, like Best 2-Year-Old Colt, Best 4-Year-Old Mare, Best 5-Year-Old and Older Mare, Best 3-Year-Old Filly, Best 3-Year-Old Colt, Best Older Mare, Best Domestic Bred Mare, Best Sprinter, and Best Dirt Horse. Each horse profile includes their 2000 performance record and a Dabituku-style bloodline diagnosis with a rating from A to C. Two commentators, Mia-chan and Piku Nakamura, discuss their predictions for the upcoming 2001 JRA Awards. Mia-chan considers Agnes Tachyon for Horse of the Year, while Piku Nakamura leans towards TM Opera O again, pointing out strong contenders like Carnegie. They debate potential upsets and discuss various horse categories like Best 3-Year-Old Colt, Best Dirt Horse, and Best Older Mare, mentioning specific horses like Daikuryuju and To the Victory. They anticipate surprises and shifts in predictions as the year progresses. This page previews the Dreamcast game Treasure Strike. It introduces the game's setting, involving treasure hunters and a legendary figure called Flower John, who discovered a source of energy called Rudis. The story follows a character's dream of becoming a treasure hunter and searching for the ultimate treasure, God's Flower, left behind by Flower John. The page showcases character files for Flower John and another character, also named Flower John, but referred to as Flower John the Flower Gion, and introduces locations like Chiripio Central Square and Route Saya Ruins. The screenshots highlight in-game scenes and character interactions. There's also a section announcing server migration for the game's Network Battle feature, indicating that network battles will be temporarily unavailable during this period. Developer comments are included, expressing that there is nothing much to say about the game, but they encourage players to experience the ending. This page details the Lotteria Valentine Cup event in the Dreamcast game Guru Guru Onsen. It's described as the first ever coupling event in the history of Guru Guru Onsen and is being held in conjunction with Sega Marine Fishing. This special event is designed to be fun, even if you don't win in the main competition. The page outlines the event details, including the date as February 5th, finishing at 9 a.m. The main competition is 7 Narabe card game. Prizes are substantial, with the winner receiving 250 Ghana chocolates, second place receiving Lati chocolate assortment, third place also getting Lati chocolate assortment, and participation prizes of Lati sweets assortment are also available by lottery. There's a special Fishing at the Hot Springs event where you can catch fish with keywords attached to them in the Guru Guru Onsen game. By combining 2 keywords, you can enter a lottery on the official homepage to win sweet presents. The event runs until February 8th. The page also features a Valentine Special project, showcasing happy couples who met through the Onsen game, highlighting it as a place where people from all over Japan can connect and find love. Lastly, there is a call for participants to join the Dreamaga Hot Springs Union, inviting readers to apply to be part of this community by mail. This page features the Imperial and Paris Opera Company support page, Imperial Capital Journal Revised, Issue 16, a fan submission section dedicated to the Sakura Wars series, specifically for New Year's illustrations, even though the New Year period is already over. This week's picture showcases a tank illustration by Komura Kazuhito from Tokyo. The page includes numerous reader submissions with characters and New Year greetings from fans across Japan. The highlight is the Imperial Assault Ranking 21 New Century Special, showcasing the top 21 fan illustrations. Ranked at number 1 is Sulameyer, followed by Sakura at number 2, and Leonie at number 3. Other ranked characters include Maria and Kanan. This section presents a collection of fan-created Sakura Wars illustrations. This page of Mail Chum Magazine details a Valentine's Day event where participants can receive chocolate from female characters by communicating with them and finding keywords. The characters are from groups called Jet Girls, Raspberry 4, Poochie Taisho, and Astro Sisters. It also explains how to use the Mail Chum service, which is for ISAO.net users. To participate, users need to register on ISAO.net and get a mail address, then access the Mail Chum, HP, through Dreamcast.com and send emails to characters. Dream Passport 3 is mentioned as being necessary for online access. The page features a St. Valentine Raspberry 4 advice room section focused on health concerns, with a dialogue between characters like Asuza, Yuko, and Hayori. There are instructions for submitting mail and postcards to the magazine, and a call for email submissions to various corners, particularly recommending the Question of Questions corner. Finally, a small New Year greeting is present with an illustration. This page is the Hitmaker official page, announcing Hitmaker Trust. It mentions the Group 3 activity reports and the Dreamcast production stopping in March. Featured is a section titled Questionnaire Arcade Group 3. This time's activity is Introducing Volume 20 Extreme Secret Network, 3chan. This 3chan network is described as a network for hardcore gamers, born out of previous unsuccessful attempts. It's explained that the Hitmaker president questioned if they would only appeal to those seeking explosive laughter and social recluses. The 3chan network is presented as a respectful take on 2channel, not plagiarism, using a bulletin board system where different threads have color-coded logs. A screenshot of the Arcade at 3chan's bulletin board is shown with rules and an input form for posting messages. Some example bulletin board post titles include Watari Take, real name unknown, to insult, and such small company president is disgusting. Games mentioned within the bulletin board posts include Virtua Fighter, Panzer Dragoon, Last Bronx, House of the Dead, Crazy Taxi, and NFL. This page continues with the Hitmaker official page and further explores Group 3 and their online forum, 3chan Network. The page header proclaims Game to the People and introduces Group 3 as an organization aiming to reform the arcade industry to be for everyone, not just hardcore gamers. Taking inspiration from the phrase, Game to the People, Group 3's policies are listed as abolishing arcade discrimination, eradicating arcade imperialism, and supporting Barbie Boys Kanta. The main members of Group 3 are introduced. Chairman Oga, who is described as cynical and logical. Minister of Justice Maeda, who is a family man and impulsive Gundam fan. Minister of Defense Miyamu, a former American football player who likes PC image data. And subordinates Shinta and Takaha, both described as looking dead. The page then delves into the 3chan network bulletin board. Screenshots show threads discussing various topics. Some thread titles and content mention games including Virtua Fighter, Daytona USA, NFL 2K, R-Type, and Grenadia. Posts discuss topics such as Dreamcast peripherals, game system proposals, and general gamer culture. One post humorously mentions Virtua Fighter with Sakura Wars setting. This week's Truth section features a cartoon image of Oga with text saying, "Even alone, I won't be buried in self-made jokes." Finally, a notice at the bottom of the page calls for Group 3 members to report current situations and encourages support from students and workers, providing an address for correspondence related to the bulletin board threads. This page presents a Pair Play Intensive Training Guide for Planet Harriers, subtitled, Aim for a Full Clear by Combining Forces. It's structured as a Q&A session with Mr. Nick, providing expert advice on how to master cooperative play. The first question addresses running out of gold in pair play. The answer explains that using missiles in pair play yields more gold than playing solo. It suggests aiming for double get by coordinating attacks with your partner, taking advantage of the faster missile lock-on of your character to secure more gold. The second question is about item purchases at the shop when gold is scarce. The advice is to prioritize power-up items in the shop, mentioning that lock-on fuel plus 3.0 missiles can be purchased later. It recommends buying items you can acquire elsewhere first. The final question tackles the difficulty of evading enemy attacks. 2 evasion techniques are detailed. For fast bullets, draw a circle to evade, and for slower bullets, pull back and then quickly turn to evade. The guide emphasizes mastering both methods for complete evasion. The overall message is to work together in pair play in Planet Harriers to achieve a full clear by effectively using missiles for gold, prioritizing power-ups strategically in shops, and mastering the 2 key evasion techniques described. This Planet Harrier's Guide for Stage 4 Cavern recommends buying the Lifesaver item for 8,000 gold. The stage is broken down into 5 key points and a boss strategy. Point 1. Use W lock-on on turrets. Evade by circling if missiles are delayed. Point 2. Use continuous lock-on on snake-like enemies. Use bombs if needed. Point 3. Prioritize safety and single-shot missiles on giant jellyfish, using quick turns to evade. Point 4. Dodge fast white bullets by pulling back, then quickly turning the opposite direction. Point 5. Position centrally to lock on and evade shark-like enemies. Boss strategy. Attack tentacles of the same color as the gauge at the top left. Destroy all tentacles, then target the central body. Avoid attacking wrong-colored tentacles to prevent healing the boss and reduce gold earned. This page presents a diverse collection of collectible figures and model kits. Action figures include Ain from Fist of the North Star, 200X line, and 2 versions of Kaiji from Kaiji, Real Action Heroes. A resin kit of Millennia from Grandia 2 is also featured. Model kits showcased are the 1/100th scale Master Grade Mississippi 18E Camphor from Mobile Suit Gundam 0080, marking its first release in this size. Additional items are an Android Idol doll Star Bose and the Super Alloy Time Gaikotsu toy from Time Bokan, which includes a miniature sofa and bonus item. Finally, there are N-Gauge Galaxy Express 999 train sets, available in both TV and movie versions. This page spotlights collectible figures. It features new Kubrick block figures, including examples from Battle Royale, Neon Genesis Evangelion, and Astro Boy. The page also discusses the unique philosophy behind Kubrick figures, their collaborations, and the concept of rare items. Other featured items include a Nautilus submarine model from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, available in 2 versions. Action dolls from Ghost in the Shell. Specifically 12-inch Motoko Kusanagi variant figures are also highlighted. A Real Action Godzilla, Mega Girasu version, plastic kit with a battery-powered roaring and moving feature is presented. Finally, action figures from the 1982 NHK drama The Tale of the Three Kingdoms, representing historical figures, are showcased as part of the Kawamoto Kihachiro collection. The next page of Dreamcast Magazine presents a manga comic strip titled Guru Guru Creature-chan, Farewell Akuma-kun Chapter. This episode introduces several characters. Guru Guru, a young scientist enthusiast, his assistant Aoi-chan, his pet devil Akuma-kun, who is a gift from their teacher Okinawa-sensei, and other creatures created by Guru Guru like Mochi Mochi-kun, Dandy-kun, and John-P-kun. The comic strip depicts a narrative where Akuma-kun appears to be fading away, prompting discussion among the characters, with Okinawa-sensei offering explanations related to happiness and departure. The page is focused on character introductions and a short story, and does not directly reference any Dreamcast games. The next page presents the weekly Dreamcastrology horoscope section, providing weekly fortune readings for each zodiac sign from February 2nd, Friday, to February 8th, Thursday. Each zodiac sign includes advice, lucky colors, and lucky items, along with symbols representing fortunes in money, health, love, work, and play. Notably, there's a section titled This Week's Lucky Person, which highlights someone born on March 3rd, mentioning Tokimeki Memorial and the character Satsuki Yukino. The accompanying image appears to be a screenshot from Tokimeki Memorial, featuring Satsuki Yukino. The horoscopes themselves don't directly reference Dreamcast games, but the Lucky Person section and the title Dreamcastrology seem to be playfully linking astrology with Dreamcast Magazine content, referencing the popular dating sim Tokimeki Memorial. This page is an advertisement for Dreamcast Magazine reader prizes and a preview of the upcoming February 23rd issue. There are several prize giveaways for readers who answer a questionnaire. Prizes include Super Sentu Kikai O for matching service, also known as Cybertroopers Virtual on Oratorio Tangram, a Dreamcast game from Capcom. 3 winners. Dreamcast-compatible software, where 15 winners can choose a Dreamcast game released before September 2001. Golf Shiyuyo 2, Aratanaru Chosen, known as Let's Golf 2 or Golf Shiyuyo, 2 Shot in Advance, a Dreamcast golf game from Softmax. 2 winners. A set of Sega Collection plush toys. Volume 2, 3 winners. Original Dreamcast Magazine T-shirts, 10 winners. Dreamcast Magazine Table Best Teleca, telephone card, featuring artwork from Tricolore Crises, 25 winners. The next issue of Dreamcast Magazine, dated February 23rd, promises a special feature on latest special move cheating techniques. It will also include articles on Shenmue 2, a scoop interview about Virtua Fighter 4 with Yu Suzuki, Sakura Wars 3, Is Paris Burning?, online gaming with Gundam Battle Online, 5 minutes after, Love Hina Smile Again, Hand Red Sword, Angel Presents, Eve Zero Complete Edition, MSR Metropolis Street Racer, and Fighter's Destiny 2 Iced. Finally, there is a list of winners from the January 1926 issue's prize draw. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast golf game, Golf Shiyuyo 2, known internationally as Let's Golf 2 or Golf Shiyuyo 2 Shot in Advance. It is highlighted as the definitive Dreamcast golf game, featuring new characters and online play. The advert emphasizes its realistic gameplay, boasting the use of Bridgestone sports golf balls and clubs. The game's price is 5,800 yen, and it's published by Softmax. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Angel Present, described as a fantasy adventure. The ad highlights an emotionally resonant story for those who cherish dreams. The game was scheduled for release on Thursday, February 22, 2001, at a standard price of 6,800 yen. Developed by Studio OX, NEC Interchannel, and Humex. With illustrations by Noritaka Suzuki, it looks to be a visually appealing and story-driven title.